Alrighty, guys. We just got over. We just watched the Suicide Squad with the gang, and now we are here to do a spoiler-filled discussion and talk about what we liked, what we maybe have not have liked, and if we had a couple people that actually didn't like the movie going in, but did like it coming out. So I thought that was really cool, and it's nice to see someone see the good in something. So I definitely feel a little bit more accomplished. So let's bring in the gang. Carlos, Caden, and RJ, and we have Eddie Volution on the other side, and he'll be back in. So guys, let's talk about it real quick. What was your favorite parts? What got you going the second time around? What did you see that you didn't see before?
I'll go first. Not all at once. Not all at once.
Right.
I mean, for me, it's like watching it again. I mean, I've watched the movie like 4 times at this point. Each time I warm up more so to the characters, especially. I noticed a lot of things. Like, for example, like I'm noticing like a lot of smaller details. Like Ratcatcher 2 likes to sleep a lot.
Yes.
I think it's a hint towards heroin addiction. Because actually something that they kind of mentioned with her father's backstory. It makes me wonder if that's something that like connects that character, like a hint or something towards that.
Interesting.
I heard that it's not necessarily a drug addiction, but it's more along the lines of, her father is dead, and like the only time she really she remembers him, but like the best time she remembers him is when she's dreaming, and she's sleeping.
That's
why a lot of times when she wakes up, she's like, "I've had the most wonderful dream," and I guess that it's probably like reliving that flashback.
That's a good point.
Also, another good thing, like back to RJ's point about the whole heroin thing, is that also when you are a kid and you're taking care of your parents because your parents isn't taking care of you, you are up all night, up all day, taking care of them, no matter what, So, so that's another thing. And so it might be where she's used to, not sleeping, where she has to sleep all day. And she's tired.
Yeah, and that's like, again, it goes back to the whole thing where it's like there's so many small little details packed into like almost every single scene that it's a lot of like what I love about James Gunn's filmmaking is that, again, I think the movie has a lot of great rewatchability to it, to where he stuffs his movies like so many, like not necessarily Easter eggs, but like even like the smallest lines of dialogue build up something later in the movie.
Small quick references.
Like, the whole exchange about small bullets, for example, when they have like that Mexican standoff where, Bloodsport, his bullet goes through Peacemakers. That was referenced earlier in the movie. It's a quick exchange of dialogue, but it's like, that's the kind of stuff I love about this filmmaking.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I also like the cameos and like the little kind of nods to the greater, the greater world of the DCEU and stuff like that, because sometimes I feel like we could get like caught in the things that are pretty obvious, like, oh, there's Gotham City, there's Metropolis and stuff like that, but with this, like we were like Karak or something, like that, where
Karak, which is
Karak,
where
it's a fictional Middle Eastern country. Or also the first appearance of the Suicide Squad was actually going to that country with Rick Flag. So there was that. We saw Kaleidoscope in the prison along with
Double Down,
and of course Calendar Man. I kind of don't like how they did Calendar Man.
Really?
I kind of wish it wasn't Sean. I kind of wish that it wasn't Sean Gunn.
Okay.
I mean, for a quick blink and you'll miss a cameo. I mean, the hardcore fans will know who he is, but like to most people, they're not going to know. It's a guy with like weird head tattoos, right?
I guess you could say that it's like where else would they use him? I guess could use him in a Batman movie, but he's not going to be the main focus, not even the secondary focus. So
yeah, I mean, he's really only well known for like one storyline anyway that they're already seemingly doing in like the Long Halloween. That's pretty much it.
unless they do Long Halloween live action in like 3 years or 4 years
Well, I mean, the
within the
Batman seems to
DCEU.
be like a version of the Long Halloween potentially, or that's something that they're interested in
Yeah.
doing in his trilogy. So
Something like that.
I
Yeah.
would love to see a long Halloween trilogy, guys. That'd be so good.
no, totally. I'd love
Not
it
a
as well.
trilogy. I don't know why I said trilogy, but
Oh, just like as a,
Just
a
like
one movie.
Just
like
like a-
one
just
of
a series,
one
like-
movie
you can you
like,
can make it
with-
two. You can make it two.
two, like how they did 2 parts with the animated one. Yeah.
The animated Long Halloween is really good. It's I
I liked
really
how
good.
they changed up the second part a bit.
Yeah.
Um,
And Poison Ivy's in it, and
Yeah.
we haven't really got to see her on screen yet, aside from like TV and stuff like that. But I
and
mean,
so
I'm totally
Uma Thurman.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
We need a good live action Poison Ivy already. It's been so long. It's like they got to try again. I'm not for sure if they're scared of trying again,
There's some villains that they just let like they haven't touched in the Batman Rogues Gallery that they really should.
You think?
Yeah,
Like-
that's
Mr. Freeze. That like it's like after Arnold, like nobody even touched that with a 10-foot pole.
which I understand
Yeah.
why, but he's like such a honestly, he's one of those villains you could do like a standalone Joker movie type of, like he
You
would
mean
carry
Batman
his own movie. No, I mean like like the Joker,
Oh,
like,
Ice
like
type.
Joaquin Phoenix's movie, like you do that kind of
like-
movie
like,
with
yeah.
him.
like a Heart of Ice, Black Label.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
But I mean, so I wish Eddie was still here because he was one of the people that kind of changed perspectives. I mean, what did you think of Peacemaker? What did you guys think of the team that was assembled for the Suicide Squad, and like some of the scenes that were controversial, right? We talked about that like during the film. I mean, looking in at them, like they're really not that controversial.
No, I can understand why maybe a studio could look at that scene between Bloodsport and Peacemaker like, oh, this is a little weird because like they're killing proverbial good guys, right? They're freedom fighters, like they're killing these innocent people, right? But again, I think that's what I appreciate about James Gunn is that he's willing to push the envelope. He's willing to
Right.
go places where other filmmakers won't.
Yeah, and like just if you just go down to the story, like upon second viewing, I noticed that Waller like literally was putting it in all of their minds, like eliminating people with extreme not discretion, extreme prejudice, like
Yes.
kill everyone on sight. Like Waller was
These are
was
the dangerous
shout-
people.
yeah shouting that from the rooftops. I'm like, I didn't notice that the first one. Like, man, Waller is like, what?
She's absolutely ruthless.
And
Like,
and I'm
she is
like,
ruthless.
if they got the GPS back on for Rick Flag, so presumably he has. He doesn't have like a head bomb that tracks him, but he would have like a piece of equipment or something. They could have talked to him. So I don't know. I guess
Again,
that
Well, and to Ty's point about Amanda Waller, like she is absolutely ruthless in this movie. Like it's it's a good version of Amanda Waller. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
no. This
she
is
was more menacing.
This
Yeah,
is Amanda
like-
Waller. Like this depicted Amanda Waller so much more accurate. I mean, the first one like had its moments,
but it
of
couldn't
Amanda
go all
Waller,
the way.
but yeah, it never went all the way. Like you really see how manipulative she is in this one, and how she's always 3 steps ahead, and she knows exactly what she's doing, and she's good at her job.
Yeah, I think people focus way too much on her getting hit on the head by her cousin and like saying, "Oh, that scene ruined the character," instead of like looking at the entire
How?
picture of the movie.
How
know,
did that
I know.
ruin
Some-
anything?
They think, well, some people say it was misogynistic, or some people said
Oh,
it
God, I'm
makes
so
the
sick of
character
this.
weaker. I know, it's
Ooh.
dumb, but
I'm so sick of
like
everything.
I could see. Yeah, when it kind of gets like the boring mundane office stuff. You see her like practicing her
No, that's
her,
awesome.
her golf and stuff like that. Like, and like, I don't know.
I think that was great.
There were some like lulls there where like you wouldn't really be doing anything. Like logically, you wouldn't. You're not all like on die hard mode all the time. But
Right.
Yeah, like that whole scene when he was losing his comms, like it was going glitchy. So
Yeah.
there's no way to contact the Waller team.
I mean, I love the cinematography in this film. Some of the risks that they took.
visually, it's beautiful.
Visually, very stunning, very colorful. The soundtrack is amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, I really enjoyed the soundtrack to this film. I thought it was
Yeah.
very, very spot on.
More
And
low key than a Guardians movie though, which I liked. It's like the soundtrack's not like foreboding in any way. It's not like it's hard to describe, but I like how it's like
there he is.
it fits the movie. You know?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sweet. So, but I missed.
Talk to us, because you're one of the one. You're a person who maybe didn't exactly love the film before going in a second time. What changed for you?
Pretty much, kind of like, I guess there was more context in terms of like dialogue wise of like what they were saying, because all I saw was like, how can I put it? All I saw was like what was happening, but I didn't really understand the context behind it until viewing it a second time, and I'm like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. So as I'm listening to it, and I'm actually digesting pretty much like everything that's going on, all the motivations and everything as to why what happened had to happen. Yeah, it made more sense, and I actually appreciated it a lot more this time around than I did the first.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
Upon first viewing, like what like didn't really jive with you that like you kind of understood more second time?
well, that's actually a pretty good question.
Like a scene or a character.
Well, definitely a couple characters like Bloodsport and Bloodsport and Harley obviously didn't change for me the second time. I actually liked them during my first viewing, but having to actually understand a bit more of of their motivations and everything like that, kind of, so for example, Bloodsport and like the scene where Amanda Waller was telling them to fall back once Starfish came up, and he's like, fall back. He's like, you heard what she said, and then he stopped, and then they turned around and they started to fight him, and I was just like, because at first I was just like, okay, why is he going back other than trying to be a badass? But then as I'm listening, as I was listening to like the build up of like dialogue wise and everything, the build up of that, this time I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm trying not to go back and forth or be confusing or anything like that, but it's just basically like me listening carefully to what's going on, because I guess you could say that I wasn't really paying attention the first time, but that's usually why I give movies a second chance, to see maybe my opinion changes. And so and as far as Ratcatcher 2's backstory, because first I liked Ratcatcher 2 as a character the first time, but I wanted to actually understand more of what I missed out on the first time regarding like her backstory, and why she talks, why she goes to rats as her, not just as her superpower, but as like her comfort, as something, as like what her dad was trying to teach her. And I don't know if you guys actually heard me while we were watching the movie, but the part where they were showing her and her dad on top of a tower as they're looking down the site, I said I would actually love to see a prequel movie just of those two, just to get like a bigger context, of a bigger backstory and context behind that leading up to the events of this movie. Right. And because I thought it would
France.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or
just them two.
Yeah, I mean, and it would be great. Go ahead. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. Like, honestly, for me, like Ratcatcher 1, Taika Waititi, Ratcatcher 2's like the father character. I mean, yeah, I just can't. Now, this is just me. I just can't really take Taika Waititi seriously.
Because he's more comic type of guy than he is like.
I don't know. Like when I watch like all the behind the when I watch all the behind the scenes and like movies it is in, like Green Lantern or Thor Ragnarok or something like that. I'm just like, you're just like a you're just like a crazy eccentric dude.
I can kind of understand that, but he has done some really.
But you gotta give the guy credit. I mean, he is getting, like, I mean, he's popular for a reason. I mean, it all goes toward his work. I mean, yeah, say what you want about him, but like, I feel like at this point, I feel like he's come away. I don't know if it's I don't know if I would say a long way, but a good enough way where it's like, okay, you could actually enjoy the guy for what he is without actually taking him too seriously. But that's just me.
Yeah. Your mic is a little staticky, apparently.
I think it's just your connection. Or
but
this happens all the time. Hold on.
I going back to this film a second time, you can really grasp the themes, and I really like the relationship between Bloodsport and Ratcatcher 2, I'm sorry. And I liked exploring how, he looked at her as I'm gonna get you out of here, and she's like, no, I'm gonna get you out of here. There was a very good moment between the two, and amongst all these supervillains, like that there's still good in them, and some humanity left in them.
Absolutely.
Maybe not Peacemaker though.
No.
Like,
you know what's funny is I liked him up until the moment he started pulling that shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, but like they
Pulling
said
what?
before, it's like he's somewhat likable, but then it gets to a point. It's like, oh, you bastard! You killed Rick Flag. Screw you.
I noticed when he was when they were having that who could kill better contest in the camp,
right?
Freaking and Peacemaker, John Cena was the only person killing the unarmed people, like unarmed and like innocent. Yeah, they're all innocent, yeah, because they're freedom fighters. But he was killing the more helpless people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Peacemaker was the only one that to kill women. He killed the woman washing her clothes. And the dude basking without pants on. Yeah. Yeah, the only kind of like unaware kill that like Bloodsport did was the guy in the bathtub.
I know some people.
I mean,
really
he's just
don't know
killing,
about
not
that.
giving a fuck about who he's killing, whether it's man, woman, child, doesn't matter. He'll just straight up just kill him.
Yeah,
which I'll be honest, like Peacemaker, I like John Cena, but I cannot take Peacemaker seriously as a character. I'm sorry. Even for my
seriously
even for my second viewing, I'm just like, I can't take this character seriously. I don't even know why he's even getting his own show to begin with. I get why, probably the reason why James Gunn wanted to go with him specifically, but at the same time, when I'm watching it, trying to figure out why he's warranted a TV show, again, I just can't get behind it. I don't know.
I think it's the star power. I think it's literally just because he's John Cena. He's famous with wrestling, and he's famous with the international audience. And he was in some Fast and Furious movies. I think that's I think that's the reason.
Or maybe just the fact that I can't see him.
Well, to me, I think this was the best acting ever.
No, but I like John Cena. I like John Cena as an actor. I mean, look, when I watched F9, I actually liked his character in F9. I actually prefer his character in F9 more than I did in this movie, only because his character in F9 had. There was more depth and motivation behind it, because you could tell, like, you first get the glimpse that when you first see the movie, it's like, okay, yeah, they're gonna go after him. He's a bad guy. But then as you watch it, you get toward the final half of the movie, you realize, oh, he's not as bad as he wants to be. He's just doing what he feels is right. And I guess you could say that about any type of character with that type of arc. But at least with John Cena being a brother of Vin Diesel's character, it makes more sense, and I can actually take him seriously as a Toretto.
You know,
Gotcha.
so
I think John Cena has come a long way. I think he's listen, he's not the best. He's not the best actor out in the world right now. He's
and I
getting
don't think he's
better.
trying to be.
But I mean, if you look at WWE, they're acting, and they're
Right.
athletes at the same time. So
Yeah, it's a
to be in the
performance.
WWE, you really do have to be very good at both of the things because you're very much putting on a show and it's entertainment. You know, I know that people don't like to hear that it's fake, but it really is. But that's not a bad thing. It's
No, of course
choreographed for
not.
your entertainment. So John, it must be a hard transition for some people, like coming out of that, going into movies and film.
The
But I
Rock,
think he's getting
Batista,
better.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's getting better as time goes, and maybe by the Peacemaker show. Question: do you guys think the Peacemaker show is going to be a prequel or a sequel
It's a sequel.
after that?
Oh,
after
sequel.
that,
I think this
After
first
that.
season is a
Sequel.
prequel, and then the second season will be a sequel.
No, it'd be
You know,
sequel
because
sequel
the
with
way that
flashbacks.
John Cena and
Mhm.
James Gunn have explained the first season is that it is not an origin nor a continuation of the Suicide Squad, and it is a prequel. They said it themselves that the first season is a prequel.
So is it
So-
like somewhere in between? You could say.
I think it's how
How he got to prison.
Peacemaker got into Belle Reve, and because I think also one of the runs with Alstrander and Akamos and Waller had this bet, who can capture the most people for Task Force-esque, and I think Peacemaker might be one of those arrests for Akamos because
you guys-
I mean, I'll give it a shot. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna give the show a shot. I'm just, I'm just really trying to get used to this guy, and I don't know.
Do you guys think that this time around I caught something that I think may have been something, but I'm not exactly sure. So when Idris Elba's Bloodsport is scraping the tongue or ball sack, I don't know which it is.
Well, you
off
mean gum?
that was
I thought it was gum.
Yeah, that was
That's
gum.
not-
That was gum.
that was definitely not gum, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
it
It
was,
was some thick ass
It was
gum.
gum.
That was
Ty.
definitely not gum. That
dude,
was
it's gum.
that was like it was
It
like
was
this
gum.
big. That was definitely not gum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it was-
Whatever. It's not the
It's
point.
gum.
Yeah,
It was a piece of meat?
All right, Kaden knows everything, right? Yeah, it's probably gum then.
Yeah,
But it was
it's
this
gum.
fucking big.
It
So
was small.
when he's scraping it off, and then Blackguard comes out and does his thing, right? And then walks past Amanda Waller. Do you think that's why she put him on the team to die? Because she was like, "Well, look at this scumbag."
Well, no, he sold them out. You know,
Right,
So,
but I'm
yeah.
saying, do you think-
Waller
we
probably
don't
knows.
see him get recruited, though, is what I'm saying.
Was that
We don't
planned,
see
though?
Weasel.
But
We don't
they
see Weasel
recruit-
or Blackguard
think-
getting recruited. They must have.
I think the team one got recruited before this team two got recruited. So he got recruited before Robert got recruited for Task Force X.
Well, it looks like they got
Right.
recruited all in one day. So I know it's
Yeah.
3 days earlier for team two. Team one might have got recruited the day of
But
because
was Black-
because of
Well,
they
no,
Oh.
no, they
It's
didn't
like
get recruited because when she gets to Savant, he said, I thought I had another 15 minutes, 15. And he's
No,
like, no, you're right now.
I thought it was 15 minutes. I thought it was 15 minutes for outdoor
So-
time. I thought it was like a
No.
cool thing where that's his outdoor
No.
space.
What's up?
Yeah.
Andy's another one
Like
that
15 minutes of recess. Yeah.
Andy R is and shout out, thank you for being here on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. We'd love to have you here. Andy was another one who said that he kind of changed his perspective on the movie. So I'm really happy about that because it's nice to see someone change over.
Yeah,
That's
let's go
another
back-
issue that I've had the first viewing too, was some of the slow moments. But this time, I actually appreciated the second time, so I'm with him on that.
Yeah, I was gonna go back to the Peacemaker.
But let me ask this real quick though. Was the whole Blackguard selling them out all part of all plans by him or Waller, or what's the deal with that?
I know.
Waller
I
probably tricked.
I think it was his
Waller.
dad.
I feel like Waller allowed him to do what he did, but
think-
without him
Okay.
knowing she allowed him.
But it was kind of jank. It was kind of jank that Waller had to send Rick Flag on that mission.
I know. I feel like
I'm surprised. I'm
there's
surprised.
either
Rick,
two things. She either knew he could survive it and trusted that he could, or she was trying to eliminate him so that Peacemaker could ensure that the drive would be
taken care of.
destroyed and taken care of. Like she needed Rick Flag to get them in, and lead them in. But she wanted Bloodsport to lead this team the whole time.
Yeah, someone
pretty much.
that's more detached.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why Rick Flag was like I guess she knew that Rick Flag was gonna be like, no. Well, he said it himself. I served my country, but I'm like, not gonna do this stupid stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
Also,
And,
like what I was saying, like because in the art book for the first Suicide Squad, there's like a little snippet for Katana saying that Rick Flag hired Katana as his bodyguard, and Waller approved of the hiring of Katana. So it wasn't like Waller hired her; it was Rick Flag that got her. And so I think that was like her building trust with Flag, and then him trusting Flag, and then that's when she goes. He puts him. He doesn't have Katana anymore. Katana's gone because he doesn't need a bodyguard anymore. He feels like he can trust Waller and can trust her that she would blow the person's head that would try to kill him.
But do you think that that Waller's trust in Flag, at least now, I mean, in this movie, do you think that was kind of like slowly dying off?
I think she knew who Flag was. She knew that Flag was like this person who cared about people and cared about his country, but also cared that the people in his country were being like, he's like, he's a liberal type person. He believes that everyone should have free supply to like what's the government's doing. So and so that's it shows in that scene where he's like, this is effed up. They're experimenting on kids. They're experimenting on women and men that just are here, and the American government's fine with it. And he's like, no, I need to release this to the press.
Yeah, thank you, Vicar, for the $2 super chat. What did you guys score the movie? We'll go around the horn, starting with Carlos.
Yeah, I'd say 8. But
out of 10.
Yeah, 8 out of 10. But it could have went up.
I do want to get to what Lord Slug said as well, but I mean, I got to take priority on this right now. So 8 out of 10 for Carlos. Eddie?
I am going to actually go off on a limb and say 8.5 out of 10.
My man.
And that wasn't, and because before you could say I rated it probably like about a 6.5 or 7 out of 10, but no, I went up 8.5. I would have given it a 9, but maybe if I watch it at least one more time, that'll probably change. But who knows?
Okay, RJ.
For me, I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
Ooh, I love this.
I
can't hear RJ, by the way. I can hear everybody else. Sorry, RJ.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
But no, I loved the movie. I thought it was absolutely tremendous. Again, it's highly rewatchable. I haven't rewatched a movie this much in a long time.
Right.
Again, each time I watch it, there's something new that I like about it, and I think it's. I hate to use this word, but I think objectively, it's a very well-made movie, like from a craftsmanship standpoint. And I think it's just a blast. I think it's a really fun, energetic movie.
Awesome, Caden.
Like I said this in our DCEU ranking video, and also that like this movie, I give it a 9 because it's about family and trying to find your place and trying to find who you are.
Right.
Like in the most weird way, because it's James Gunn. He does it in a weird way, but he does it.
Yeah.
So what's your number though?
9.
Did you say that or did I miss it?
Yeah.
Okay. So 9 out of 10, and I gave it an 8.8 out of 10. First time.
That's arbitrary.
I gave it an 8.8 the first time, and I'm actually going to jump it up to 8.9 this time. I rarely give anything above a 9. So, but this is as close to the highest thing I've ever given is a 9.3 for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yes.
Oh, I gave that a higher rating. Sorry.
Listen, you can't get too close to 10 because then nothing
No,
else can
I
ever
didn't
beat
go
that.
to 10.
Yeah.
No, I at least did a 9 out of 10, but I didn't go any higher than that.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like, is it just me, or I think that rating system is super weird.
No,
I'm like,
it's
what
the Barstool rating system.
What's the difference between an 8.8 and an 8.9?
1.1 is the difference.
Okay, but what can make a movie 0.1% better?
I saw more that I liked in this, but I don't want to go up to a 9 yet.
Okay, I don't know. I think the 0.5s and the whole numbers are like, that makes sense. But okay.
That's just how I do things. That's how I personally rate it. That's my deal. I've always been like that too. I've always done the full decimal, like 8.1, 2, 3, 4, 8.5, 8.6, everything. It allows for a more detailed score in my mind. So, yeah, I mean, but around the horn, man, that's a good. And to get to Lord Slug, what he said. So it came out today. There was a picture, and if you zoom in on the picture,
I saw this.
See, originally that Deadshot was considered for Team 2. What do you guys think? Do you think this would have been a different movie completely, or would
100% it would have been?
Slightly, I was gonna say slightly different, but I don't think it would have really changed much from what we got with this movie. I feel like if he was gonna go with Deadshot with Deathstroke, I personally think there would have been more. I would say a bit more. As far as action goes, I think there would have been a lot more of that. Not that we didn't get a lot with Bloodsport. I'm sure we definitely did. I'm just saying with Deathstroke, I feel like he's more of a known character in the DC lore, more so than Bloodsport, only because it's Deathstroke. Like what can't you do with him?
Right.
You would totally abandon the kind of like surrogate daughter with Ratcatcher storyline,
and also you would also get rid of that whole rivalry scene between Peacemaker and Deathstroke too, as well. That whole scene with Gunn as well.
Was there a rivalry in the comics?
Well, no, but like in this movie, they kind of demonstrated, because it's like, I guess, like kind of
Bloodsport and Peacemaker are basically the same character, but Peacemaker takes a whole another level.
I think it's kind of
Peacemaker wouldn't make sense really.
Yeah. RJ, you were trying to say something. What was that?
Yeah, no, what I was gonna say was I feel like it would have changed the movie fundamentally, because I think Deathstroke is such a different character compared to Bloodsport that I don't think the movie would be the same structurally. Right? Deathstroke is like the elite of the elite type of like assassin and like character.
Yep.
To where I'm not sure what story you could have gone with to where he would feel vulnerable. Because I feel like if Deathstroke was in there and not Bloodsport, like Deathstroke would he's like the super, like almost like a metahuman, like godly assassin, right? I feel like it would just change the whole movie in terms of like tone, because he's a lot more serious as well. And I think that I don't know, I just feel like it wouldn't be the same movie, because I feel like he can take care of business different than any other character, right? So
okay, yeah, no, I agree with that. So God, what I can't see here.
We lost Caden.
Huh?
Did we lose? Oh, no, go ahead.
We lost him. We lost him.
Be right back.
Okay. So, would you guys, after seeing it again, would you want James Gunn to direct any more future DC films?
I think I would. Like, this realm that he's in with the Suicide Squad, he does well in it, even though I think he's like pushing the envelope for pushing the envelope's sake, you know what I mean? Like when some things could have made the movie that much better, for me, it's like I understand. Oh, I'm gonna take one team, fill it with a bunch of people, and I'm gonna kill them all. And that's kind of like the Suicide Squad's thing. Like, and it demonstrates a lot of things, that nobody's safe, that Amanda Waller is ruthless, that she'll send a team of people just to die as a distraction for another team, and blah blah blah. Blah. I understand that, but like when I don't know, I just think it really could have been utilized better, especially Team One, instead of just throwing all of them down the toilet and keeping the two people, of two of the more important people, in it. It's kind of feels kind of contrived too,
Right?
But yeah,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind him. Like if he plays more in this realm and works with that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So Nick Carr with another $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Would you guys all want to see a sequel to this movie? So a direct sequel to the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Which in turn, I guess you could say would be the third Suicide Squad.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it would technically be Suicide Squad 3, right?
I would call it that. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll go with all the articles. Or
you get into like weird names. Like
you go to Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
the Suicide Squad, a Suicide Squad.
Or it would. I wouldn't be surprised if they called it Suicide Squad, and then whatever the subtitle would be, or the Suicide Squad with the subtitle. I mean, it doesn't really matter what James Gunn wants to title it, because he did say, after all, that the Suicide Squad was originally a joke, but the studio liked it so much that they ended up using it as the title.
I kind of personally don't like having that. It's the same with
I'm with you. Yeah.
With Fast and Furious. It's like the Fast and the Furious. Too Fast and Furious. Too Fast and Furious is kind of funny. Then it's Tokyo Drift.
It makes sense, though, because it is
but then the fourth one is called Fast and Furious, not the Fast and the Furious. It's like, come on.
Yeah. But for me, real quick, to answer if I want to see a sequel, yeah, I would love to see James Gunn tackle another one. I personally, and I don't know if you guys will agree with this or not, but I personally, like, if he's going to do another one, I feel like he should reel back just a little bit some of the jokes. Not that I didn't like them or that they didn't land, because they did land for me the second time around. But I feel like he should scale it back just a little bit and just actually let it flow a little bit more. Another Suicide Squad.
Another Suicide Squad.
Yeah. but I feel like he should at least like rein it in just a little bit and actually let it flow more naturally, but focus more on like you were saying, like the heart and like the action and just everything, and why the Suicide Squad does what they do. And I think it should be fine. And I also hope that that we get Will Smith back.
Yes.
Because I feel like he needs to come back and actually real quick before I was gonna say, other than Will Smith, do you think? Because I know James Gunn said he wants to get like more different, lesser known characters for the next movie. But do you guys feel like the next one should be a fusion of like old and new members, like say like what we got, the remaining 4 that we got from this movie, and then Will Smith obviously, but then what about like people like Katana or El Diablo and a couple of other
Diablo's
theatrically canon is he's gone.
But
man,
Ayer's cut, he does not sacrifice himself. And by the way, shout out.
But that's the thing, because like you're put into a rock and a hard place with these 2 different versions. Like you don't, it's crazy. But anyway, go ahead, Ty. Sorry.
Shout out to Nick again with another $2 super chat. Best YouTube channel on the platform right here. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I was saying during the movie that I wouldn't mind seeing Killer Croc come back, and then Killer Croc with Killer Croc, King Shark, Bloodsport, Deadshot, Let's go. Let's go.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind
You
if
could
they
put- you could,
reboot
like,
Killer Croc.
RJ,
but-
RJ.
Oh, yeah.
Can you
Go
not
ahead, sorry.
hear RJ for real?
I hear RJ.
I really can't. I really can't. And I apologize if I keep interrupting him.
It's okay. Every
just-
time he speaks, I'm just gonna say RJ. Okay.
Okay,
So
RJ,
just so
okay.
you know. All right.
It's all good.
Okay.
RJ.
No, I was gonna say as long as it's a better version we got in the studio cut of the original movie though, because the whole BET thing and like the jokes, just the way they handled the character was so bad. So
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's so bad. Please make it a better version, please.
Like all honesty, I feel like, and I don't want to sound any type of way, but he was very stereotypical. You know what I mean? I feel like he had no personality.
But remember,
they're like he like. You go ahead.
But remember, these are not the only. That's not the like. Yeah, pulling from the first movie, maybe grabbing some of those people to bring them in would be cool. But I wouldn't mind exploring more of the Rogues Gallery from DC.
Oh
Like-
yeah.
Like getting some. I don't know. There's so many villains. I mean,
I'm looking at a list of like a ton of villains like that were in it.
grab. All right, so let's talk about some other villains that we could possibly see. So maybe let's go a little bit obscure. Like who would you assemble as a Suicide Squad?
Kite Man. Bring in Kite Man.
Kite Man, yeah, James Gunn would definitely do Kite Man. I feel like, and he would do it so beautifully.
And the Condiment King.
The Condiment King. Do
There's
you
also-
guys
there's
know who
also-
the Condiment King is?
I don't.
Oh,
The what?
He's the Condiment King.
Killer Frost would be a great addition.
Yes,
A
Killer
great
Frost.
addition.
It's like
Yes.
Mirror Master. I like Mirror Master.
Mirror Master.
Captain Cold.
Get maybe the Mad Hatter.
Electrocutioner.
Ooh, Electrocutioner.
Clayface.
Clayface.
Clayface would be a
Moth.
great one. What?
Killer Moth.
Killer Moth.
Bronze
Live-
Tiger.
Live Wire.
Bronze Tiger. So
Yeah,
Bronze
I
Tiger
was
was
about
in
to
the
say Bronze
CW.
Tiger.
And you have to remember, they actually did assemble a Suicide Squad in the Arrowverse.
Yeah, they didn't call him Susan.
And
it was pretty
good.
Yeah, it was Task
And it was
Force
pretty
X,
good.
but I mean,
Yeah.
we know what that is.
Sportsmaster would
Yeah,
be
and
cool.
but Bronze Tiger was one of them.
Cheetah.
yeah.
Cheetah, yep.
Could be in it.
Solomon Grundy would be an interesting pick, of course. I love that pick. Oh man,
Yeah, but, like
I thought Cheetah was
James
from
wanted
Legion
to
of Doom.
choose. There's certain villains that James
I
wants
was
to
just-
choose, like Solomon Grundy, that with Batman characters, like certain Batman characters.
If he wanted to tie it into like if we are going on the notion like that the Snyderverse is continuing, just because I just saw the name and I just thought about it, but they could have KG Beast
yeah.
because like they could explain that he didn't die when the explosion happened.
Yeah.
When Batman shot the flamethrower in Batman v Superman. So like he
he
exploded
can be a
with it.
burn
Of course-
victim.
Yeah, he could be a burn victim, and like that kind of goes with his outfit because in his outfit he's
Yeah.
completely covered and has like looks like a machine gun arm.
Speaking of
Yeah,
burn
he has, like,
victims, I'd
he has
love
an
to
arm.
see
Wait,
Firefly.
isn't he the one that was about to kill Martha
Ooh.
before?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know
Who
what you're
just
talking
said
about. Yeah.
Firefly?
I did. Firefly.
Oh, Firefly.
Yes.
Firefly's a good.
Yes.
Like
What would you
after
guys feel about
him being
Bane?
in
Bane coming in as a Suicide Squad member. And
Bane,
with-
hashtag Baneista.
or
But
That's
Bane-
like Batista. I like that.
but and that, you know what? That could be a good way for
The
James
Secret
Gunn
Six.
to bring Dave in as a
Because
character
there's
because Dave apparently was in line to play Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
I think they knocked it out of the park with Cena
John.
playing him. I don't think Dave would have played a great Peacemaker, but to bring him in as Bane, which is something he's already said he would do. Come on. And I want a more comic accurate Bane. I like Tom Hardy's Bane because it was set in like a more realistic world. But
I
Bring
want
Poison Ivy and Bane in.
I wanted him to be juiced up with Venom, like in
That's what I'm saying.
in the Dark Knight Rises. He was what? It was just like a freaking anesthetic, or like some kind of painkiller. That's it.
It served, but it served that realistic kind of world better,
Right.
than having all the tubes.
I would
and
like
and I don't like the muzzle because like Bane, he doesn't have a muzzle. He has a mask with the eyes cut out, nose and mouth. You know what I mean? And then he has the Venom coming in. So
Right.
and
it's just
Penguin.
Right. But go ahead, Ty. I'm sorry.
Penguin. Could
Something
be,
like
could be
this
one.
would be cool to see for Secret
Yeah.
6 because
I was going to say real
Bane,
quick,
you have Deadshot.
as far as Bane goes, I mean, I could definitely see Batista playing him, but here's the thing: he has to really nail a Mexican accent, because if he doesn't, I don't know. Because the thing is, the Bane that I know with that type of accent is from the animated series.
Yes.
And I don't know if in the comic books that he's the same way, but if they are going to use that specific type of Bane with the whole Venom thing and everything, Batista has to nail it, because he's Filipino, and I'm not that makes any difference. I'm just saying he has to really get into character with that guy.
I think he could do it.
Shout out to Real Elmo.
Elmo!
Real Elmo Cinema. First time on the channel, man. I am so happy to see you in the chat. You are my absolute favorite person, and I really do adore you. You and H-Barts are probably the coolest viewers.
Whoa.
Oh shit. Okay. I see how you're doing this.
Wow.
I see you.
Damn, already?
Shout out to Real Elmo Cinema, first time on the channel with the $99 super chat. I'm always beside myself, and it's guys like you that make doing this worth it every single day, because I wake up and I know I have a community of people that I can come talk to about the things that I love. And I know you guys love them as well. We love to spread that positivity here. And I mean, look at us. We're talking about the movie. Some people didn't like it. We've turned them around. We've turned them around, but now we're talking positively about the movie and seeing the good in it, right? So this is what it's all about, guys. This is really what it's all about. Thank you, Real Elmo Cinema. You're a true champion, and I'm still willing to fund that project of you versus H-Barts in your outfits. So let's get that self-funded. All right, guys.
Yeah. Elmo's a cool dude, man. I mean, you see him on Jargo's channel a lot, and I've had discussions with him in the live chats. He's awesome.
Does he have Twitter?
I'm not sure. I would already followed him.
Follow me on Twitter if you do. I would love to talk to you.
I know H-Barts has a Twitter. I'm not for sure about that.
Someone send that to me, because I would love to talk to them as just like people, And guys, no one feel obligated to send super chats, but like, if you can afford it and you can support the channel, it does cost a lot. Like just to give you a little bit, we opt for the HD version of StreamYard. It's $50 a month. Then like making sure we have all the streaming channels so that we can share it and stuff like that. It adds up, but we do it for you guys and we do it for the culture. So that, and we love to bring people together. This crew right here, guys, you guys are the best.
Thank you, man. That means a lot.
But we got to get Eddie a new microphone. With that $100, we'll
get
a new microphone.
Yeah, no, but you know what? Because since you were there you go. Because since you were mentioning it, Ty, you and I definitely got to communicate more, because I know you've been communicating with me a lot via DMs on Twitter, and we should do that a bit more often when you're not busy.
Yeah, I've always said, like, no matter how big, like God willing, no matter how big the channel gets, I'll always interact. I know those people that like they lose touch with their audience when they get big. I vow to never do that, just in case. But we're still here at this point, so we don't have to think about that.
It is what it is.
Peacemaker show, though. I want to talk about that a little bit more. Who do you think could? Because he's technically a villain, right? So who do you think would be the villain of that story?
The antagonist.
Well,
Oh.
Who could be the villain of that kind of story? The government.
Vigilante?
I think it
What?
is Peacemaker versus
Vigilante?
Vigilante.
Since he's gonna be in this show.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, that's just my guess. I don't know much about Vigilante. I think he's a villain or some type of anti-hero. I'm not sure.
He's a
But
Vigilante. Is an
I just know he's gonna be in the
anti-hero,
show.
And
Okay.
yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
got
what?
recasted
Okay.
Who got
So
from
calendar.
an older actor to
Ca-
a younger one.
So some people didn't really like I know this is a controversial scene. Some people didn't like the Harley Quinn scene with the president.
Yeah, getting with
However,
Luna.
right. And I'm just gonna flat out say it. She initiates that. She initiates that
Yes,
interaction.
It's not anything that some people are overreacting and saying that it is. It's not what that scene plays off as at all. Again, it's like the only gripe I have is not with that scene. I just think it slows down the pacing of the movie just a little bit in the second act. That's like my only gripe with the movie. I think the second act is a little bit slower pace than the rest of the stuff in the movie.
Right.
But I think it does show character growth on Harley's behalf, and I think a lot of people are missing that because they're reading too much into like what the scene is, not looking at like what it actually says.
Well, I think people had problem with. Let's keep it straight here. Like keep it 100. People had run that they had relations. You know what I mean?
Right.
That they got it on. That's the problem because technically Harley in that instance is a prisoner, or and like I guess people are trying to say that thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick, again with another $2. I love you too. I do. I love you. I love you so much. So what were you saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So like people are like saying it's kind of glorifying or showing it in a good light. This thing where the guy he has a prisoner and then he dolls her up. He does all this stuff, and then he's wooing her, and he's the good guy. You know what I mean? But he's not, and she shoots him dead in the chest. You know what I mean? I did notice.
No, but sorry.
I was gonna say I did notice that they mention children a lot. They mention like the kids. It's like is that because I think subliminally, I don't know. That just caught my eye the second time I'm watching it. That they mentioned, but the kids. Why are you doing that to kids? And I'm like, okay, well, normal people are dying too. Not saying that it's any better or any worse. But I just in regards to
they're part of the family. So.
In part with James Gunn's history per se.
Right.
Yeah, I just noticed.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't good.
They mentioned it like 3 times. So Harley said, then Rick Flag said it, and then The Office.
We'll just to go off that for a moment though. In regards to Harley.
Yeah.
Sorry.
RJ.
Oh no, you're good. In regards to Harley, that was kind of set up in the original David Ayer movie, where it's like she wanted that family life with Joker. She wanted to settle down and have children. And Birds of Prey, she had Cassandra Cain. That was the crux of the story of that film. So children and Harley Quinn have always been something that go together. It's like an emotional corridor, something that's a line she's never willing to cross, right?
Right.
The other references to children, I can maybe see why it's a little interesting, especially given James Gunn's past stuff. Why some people might feel uncomfortable with the mentioning of it. But I think I'm just saying Harley,
they mentioned it a lot. They mentioned it 3 times, and it was kind of like, yeah.
Well, I mean, is at one point we have to move on, right?
Is everybody no cam squad?
No, I'm doing something. I'm trying to change something over. I'm
just moving over to my bed. That's why
I do think at one point, like, we need to move on from this cancel culture kind of stuff. And James, I think, has distanced himself so much with it that he's moving on, and it's and that's what you have to do. It's listen, he said some things and he apologized. It was a different time. No one held him accountable for when he did say it. So we can't hold him accountable 10 years or 12 years.
He was
later.
apologizing before it blew up.
Especially, we can't hold him accountable either, especially when we're not us here, but hypothetically speaking, like if we're people like the Snyder Group trying to trash this movie and use James Gunn's, personal issues as an excuse to hate the movie. There's that, we shouldn't be doing that.
My thing, and I said this before, or in the beginning of the show, was that like a movie is an amalgamation of effort between it could potentially hundreds of people. You know what I mean? Artists and designers and hairstylists and editors and videographers and audio tech and stuff, and like a ton of people. It's not just solely the director. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Like, when
Would
you want
you guys want to see a return of the Joker in a future Suicide Squad movie?
Depends on the story.
Return of the Joker storyline wasn't,
and I want the Zack Snyder version of the Joker.
100% agreed. I agree with that.
I would love to see James bring in that Joker again and have him,
only if he and Jared Leto can get their shit together.
Yeah, I've heard that they didn't like each other. I didn't know that.
It's some weird thing. I mean, I know Jarbo talked about it a whole lot, and I completely forgot. But I know that there was some type of beef between Gunn and Leto, and I guess it had something to do with one calling the other like a child lover or something like that. I'm not sure.
Gunn called out Leto for being,
but it was something.
A pedophile. Actually reported it. Like, he reported it to the police, and they went a full-on investigation on Leto and found some evidence, but not circumstantial, where they can actually accuse him of anything.
I did not know any of that.
Yeah, it was a big deal in 2017.
What's RJ saying? Because
I didn't say anything. It's all good.
He can't hear you.
Caden was talking. Caden was talking. Can you not hear Caden?
The first.
I heard Caden earlier. Was he not?
Yes, Lord Slug. Caden actually brought this point up that the first bird death could have been a reference to Savant being a Birds of Prey villain. And I definitely think that's true.
The funny thing is also Savant is being a Birds of Prey villain, and the canary was the bird that he killed, and a black canary is part of the Birds of Prey. And I also have a theory that Savant killed Diana Drake. Which is the original Black Canary.
Right.
And Renee Montoya is referenced in the movie that she has the same abilities as her mom. So she definitely was.
Actually, that would make so much sense. I didn't even really think about that. I completely forgot about that dialogue that Montoya says about her mother. Oh, wow. So maybe, do you think that's how he's in jail?
Yeah, I think that's probably why he's in. Yeah, he's probably in jail for that.
Oh.
And, or he was the Birds of Prey arrested him.
That's something I was gonna bring up. Would be if they do go through with Gotham City Sirens, which I heard they're thinking about it, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing something.
Well, David said that the. Oh no! Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say that they could bring in whoever is from Gotham City Sirens, like Poison Ivy. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that the last time I heard about the film, I heard, David Ayers said that the project is still on hold. So I'm not sure if
still
if where that is going to eventually lead to, whether he's gonna be behind it or somebody else. I don't know.
Right. I would honestly. Would you guys be okay with James getting it?
Directing it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was saying I would really love to see that. Totally. I think him and Margot seem to I really had a great time working together. So I'm down if he wants to do Gotham City Sirens.
Yes.
Or Secret Six. I think Secret Six could be good too.
Secret Six. Wow. Okay. I actually.
Yeah, that's what I was bringing up. That Secret Six. Which has been, reported to be a project in the works, and it was paused. And Alicia Guerrero, who was the Birds of Prey writers, she was like one of the Black Canary creators. She was talking about Secret Six and how Gail Simone. She was talking about Secret Six on Twitter and saying the project is on hold and it's still in development.
Who is
and
the Okay, so I see that. Can you bring that picture back up?
so it's
So we have
Scandal
Bane.
Savage. It's Scandal Savage versus Vandal Savage's daughter, and you have Jeanette, which is a banshee, so she
Okay.
like screams, and then you
Yeah.
have Deadshot and Catman and Ragdoll and Bane, and Ragdoll is like this,
Ah.
like basically this
Harley
metahuman.
was also a member.
Yeah, no,
for a little
Ragdoll was
bit.
in
was in the Flash.
was in the Flash, and I actually
Mhm.
thought they portrayed. No, actually, they did portray
Yeah,
it
he
pretty well.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
the Flash CW series, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a
They
really
got a
good
dude that actually can
interpretation.
do like all of that, like stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I really don't like that.
No,
I don't really
no,
like the Flash series.
I don't either. It's
No,
definitely gotten off of track.
even season 1 or 2.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's a different take, actually.
It's kind of garbage.
Okay. Hey, and that's okay. That's okay.
Also, when we're talking about the vigilante suit, this is what we're talking about. That logo.
okay.
Oh, is that the actor from Peacemaker playing him?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
This is real? That's a real
yeah.
thing?
This is behind this. Yeah, let me get the full image.
I mean, that's a pretty. I mean, it's accurate as heck.
Yeah,
It's very accurate.
Is that the actor or a stunt double?
the actor. That's why.
Nah, yeah, I don't recognize him. I don't know who he is.
So Caden just kind of gave up there. Caden, can you just recap for High what the Secret Six is?
Yeah, so the Secret Six is basically these. It's basically the Suicide Squad, but even more secretive. It's Amanda Waller thinking that the Suicide Squad Task Force X has failed, and so she gets a new group of villains who are even more wackier, and so she gets the first and heroes. It's heroes as well. And the first iterations with Joker, the Flash, Martian Manhunter. It's like all these other like heroes and villains combined into one team, like 3 heroes, 3 villains, and they go on like secret missions, like these MI6 villain like missions, and then the second iteration, which is in Tiny Titans, is this iteration, which is Bane, Scandal Savage, Jeanette, Deadshot, Catman, and Ragdoll, and it's secret missions that the Suicide Squad can't even go on, that even heroes can't even go on. It's like it's like top secret missions, like even more secretive than what we've seen in this movie where Project Starfish. It's even more secretive than that. So
okay. I would love to see that then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'm all in on that, especially if it's a even deeper cover kind of team. Because that's another way you could bring Amanda Waller in. And you know what? As you can see, she's at the end of this movie, she's kind of like, this is the first time we've seen her defeated almost. So she could have
So
lost
maybe
faith in Task Force X at that point.
The Suicide Squad versus Secret Six.
That would be good. That would be good. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because is there going to be the Suicide Squad is run by Amanda Waller, so she's running the Secret Six. I don't think she'd be, unless something else happens. I don't know.
Well, we know that the people in the Suicide Squad, the survivors at the end of the movie, they're alive and they're free.
Yeah, and do you think they would continue being a team together?
Maybe.
Depends
Maybe not, but the circumstances of the movie could always bring people together.
I am not sure when it released. I'll have Caden look that up when he gets back.
I think it was in 2011.
Yeah. Hey, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. I actually gotta go.
Okay.
But dude, thank you so much for having me on. This was the most fun I've ever had. I've never done a watch party. This is like the first ever I've done with somebody. So definitely got to do it again soon.
Hell yeah, man! We're always up for it, and I'm glad you could have you joined and got to change your perspective a little bit. That's what it's all about, guy.
Absolutely.
Always happy to have you here, and you're always welcome at the Pop Culture Corner.
Thank you, man. And hey, I will be on my best behavior next time. I'll try not to talk during the movie again.
No, it's for some reason StreamYard makes our microphones like way louder than the screen share, and I don't know why, but it's weird. But where can people find you on your media?
Basically just Twitter and YouTube at Evolution. I'm more active on Twitter. As far as communicating with YouTubers and all that, because I'm not as I'm not as active on my channel as far as posting videos and stuff. But yeah, man, Twitter's where you can find me. As far as being more, communicating with people. So yeah, feel free to follow me and follow you back.
All right. Thank you so much for joining tonight, man.
All right, man. Have a good one, guys.
We'll see you soon. Yeah. So, I mean, Secret Six, Caden, do you know when it was released?
The Tiny Titan one. Let me look it up.
Okay.
I could have sworn it was 2011, but I'm not for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
So rumblings have been taking place, and people have been not campaigning, but they've also been saying, I've seen it multiple times, asking, could James Gunn take over the DCEU as kind of like the Zack Snyder? Maybe not, as extensively, but do you think James Gunn has what it takes to do that?
I
think he has.
I still don't think so.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think he has creative abilities. I don't think that's the position he wants to put himself in, though. I think he likes being a creative director who just, makes the movies that he's interested in and can just handle one project at a time, if that makes sense. I don't think he likes being a hands-on business type of guy who's gonna run an entire franchise.
True. That goes into what
It
I
was
was trying to say.
2016. 2016.
Secret Six.
The Secret
20
Secret Six. The one with Bane and Banshee and Scandal Savage is 2016.
Yeah, I would, but I don't think Gunn would do it, and I don't think I necessarily want him to do it.
Right.
Even though with this movie, he knows comic books and comic book movies, and I did like how the movie was comic booky. It felt
it felt
full of
booky.
and full of energy and stuff like that. And I'm with him continuing his work within DC and doing more like Suicide Squad or maybe another team using the obscure characters because that's his dealio. But having a role like Zack Snyder, to be honest, I don't think anybody at least that format that they were thinking of with DC, of leading DC with Zack Snyder, I don't think it was good to begin with. Even though I like Zack Snyder and his movies, if we're talking about building a universe, Zack and I know I finally found a way to articulate this, and I've been saying this. I said this in another stream, I told Meta,
Okay.
and I didn't say it in this stream, but Zack Snyder wasn't. I don't think he was creating a foundation. He was creating a whole house. You know what I mean? When he made his Zack Snyder saga, if he was to make his full thing from Zack Snyder, from Man of Steel all the way to Zack Snyder Justice League Part 3, he would have made a house. It's complete and it's beautiful and you could live in it and you could enjoy it, but it's not the foundation for the whole DCEU.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because so much has happened and there's so much finality in the ending that you can't really build off of that. You know what I mean? Because you're already taking care of the most toughest threat there is in Dark Side, or like one of the heavy hitters in the DC Comics universe. The Flash gets OP. He gets to go up 2 places at once, easily time travel, stuff like that. Cyborg becomes OP. Batman's no longer. Now we have 20 years later, so anybody that does age would age out of their working years, and we'd have another version of Batman when we want Bruce Wayne. Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't think that would have been good. Yeah. Okay. So I think we need a Kevin Feige figure, whether that be Jim Lee, whether that be.
I was gonna say, listen, I am all on board with Jim Lee overseeing,
like a Jim Lee and a Deborah Snyder.
Yes.
Combination. Continuity committee. #continuity committee. We need a continuity committee. Literally, it's just there's 3 options when it comes to making something in DC, and this is what they should do. It's either you're in the Prime universe, what you focus on, that's more MCU-esque thing. you're in the multiverse, so you have the potential to go and visit your slice of the world, slice of the like your own, story. So like if the Flash is gonna run around time or whatever and run through different dimensions and different multiverses or different universes in the multiverse, that he'd visit like Earth 2, Val-Zod, Pattinson Batman, or visit Calvin Ellis or blah blah. That's multiverse. Or you could be completely detached and it's a one-off and it'll never be visited again, as in Elseworld, as in a la the Joker. You know what I mean? The Joker movie.
Yeah.
So literally that's what could be done, and I don't trust anybody else to do that.
Yeah.
And with their track record, I don't think they will.
Yeah.
Everybody wins in my model, I swear.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, do you guys think this takes away from the Snyderverse at all?
No, if anything, I feel like this might be controversial. I don't know, but I feel like it's a natural extension of the previous movie. There's nothing in this movie to me that feels like it's disrespecting what came before. I don't think that it's insulting David Ayer's work. I don't think it's insulting what Zack Snyder built. Like, for example, even though the movie has like a more colorful, frame,
palette,
it's more palette, the visuals still feel grounded in a way. It doesn't feel like it's going like so over the top that it's like unrecognizable what's come before in the DC universe. Right. So.
And honestly, guys, I really did think this was going to be, and I've said this, I think I've said this like ad nauseum at this point. I thought this was going to be a win for DC fans all around.
Me too.
Like, I really, really did.
Like a movie that makes everyone come together.
Everyone come together and be like, look what can happen when good stories are told. It doesn't necessarily have to be Zack Snyder telling it for us to have a good DC film. Fundamentally, you break this movie down, it's good. It's a good film. It tells a story coherently.
But Ty, you're wrong. You're wrong. You know why?
I know.
Because Snyder's not involved. Because
Right.
Ayer's not involved.
Right.
Because Gunn is trying to apparently take over the DCEU.
No.
with
Gunn was
Marvel.
actually sent, from Marvel to make a bad film.
That's why Kevin Feige was on set that day.
100%.
To make sure that
Kevin
was taking over
Feige
DC
sent
as well.
him in there as a secret
He's
agent.
secret agent,
Mhm.
rogue agent.
Yeah.
Secret agent, man. For James Gunn. No, but and I really did think this movie. Hey, I'll sing for super chats, man, and I'll take clothes off, whatever you want. Just kidding, but no, but
I'm always like, bet, yo.
I really did think this was gonna bring us together. Yet it kind of like split the fandom even more apart, guys. What are you thinking about the fandom lately? Like, we're all in the fandom. We're all Zack Snyder fans here. We're all diehards.
Mm-hmm.
We all contributed towards the movement in one way, another, whatever and I know for a fact everyone here did.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking about the fandom as of lately kind of turning into this place where it's not welcoming for new people?
Yeah. For me, I feel like they got egotistical with the whole Snyder Cut releasing. They think they can control a studio and a fandom at the same time. They're like a mouse that ate a cookie or a piece of cheese that made them feel like they're this big, powerful rat when they're not. And it got to their heads. And
the people are really drinking that Kool-Aid, man. And it's like, and I've seen these videos on Twitter of people walking out of the movie.
I remember that.
I'm not going to say any names because it doesn't matter who it is. But this person, it seemed like there was a preconceived notion to hate the movie going in. And I feel like a lot of people in the fandom that are diehard Snyder purists, just they knew that they didn't want to like this movie. And when you get that in your head, like you ever, like if it's like going out to eat and you're going somewhere you don't like, no matter what, you're not going to like it at that point because you've built it in your head that you're not going to like it. So it's I think we need to be more open because there is a chance that Zack Snyder doesn't direct a DC movie again. Like, it's a real possibility.
There's a chance he won't even direct the if, like, let's say they make Justice League 2 and 3, there's a chance he won't even direct those.
Exactly that specificity.
If they even go with that. I mean, personally, like, as for me with the fandom, it was like, I liked it in the beginning because I and I still like it. I still like the people. I still watch the people that are part of it. You know what I mean? But for me, it all started with like the announcement of the Snyder Cut May 20th of last year. I was all about it. I was at watch parties. I was watching. I was contributing and tweeting and stuff like that. And I loved it. And I thought it would be a natural evolution of like, okay, we're celebrating the Snyder Cut. We're promoting it, and of course we want the Snyderverse. We would like Zack to come back. But if it didn't happen, then how would we feel? You know what I mean? And would we want to build more? Would we want to have a new thing? And honestly, I saw Zack Snyder's Justice League. I liked it, and now after that celebration period, it's been months. We could properly critique it and see if it was good or not. To be honest, I think Zack Snyder's Justice League had some flaws in it, some things that could have been done better. And then, would you want to see the continuation of that universe, or what they're making right now? Does it have any goodness in it? And I think, the Suicide Squad was a good movie, and I liked it, and I liked the world building, and I like what can be done in the future with it and with the people that made it.
Right.
But to see people just, and like, I think you summed it up in the perfect word, Snyder purist. When it's purely just, if it's not Snyder, if it's not Ayer, I don't want it. Yeah. It's like, come on.
It's like Katsuka.
And some of them have also gone as far as discrediting Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman and saying that and discrediting for her for both Wonder Woman films, to say that Zack solely directed and wrote the first Wonder Woman and Jeff Johns solely directed and wrote the second one, and it's gone that far. I was just a fan, and I never really had any stake in the game. I never met a celebrity, and I never had a chance of talking to Zack, so I'm not trying to not trying to inflate anybody's ego or something like that. I'm just talking for me. So, where I find myself with DC and stuff like that, I find myself in, talking in the creative streams or just talking about the creative parts of just DC Comics and film in general, because like I'm a lover of film and I'm a lover of comics first, and then I'm a fan of a certain director second.
Yeah.
So when I see art, I'm like, I love it, and when I see art, that is not as good, I'm like, this could have been better. And if it's trash, I say it's trash. Wonder Woman 84, it was trash. Zack Snyder's Justice League was good. Zack Snyder's Justice League had some problems. It could have been better. And I love thinking and creating and coming up with bigger and more awesome stuff, and that I wish could be implemented. But I'm a dreamer. I live in a dream world most of the time.
No, I totally get you. I mean,
I'm out there, man. Like, I want to see, like, and I wish we could get it more with like Superman, whether it be Henry Cavill or somebody else's Superman. But I want to see bigger and better. And sometimes I feel like we're stuck in the punchy. I want to see some planets being destroyed. Maybe some
more epic
people
stuff.
Oh my god, I'm big into anime and like the kind of shonen action. You know what I mean?
No,
I feel like with DC, more than any other comic book property or any other property, live action property, DC could do it with their characters. Unlike Marvel could never do it, man. Like, take Loki in the finale and stuff like that. It goes down to a sword fight, and they're literally with the maker of all of existence. You know what I mean? Or the orchestrator of all of existence.
Yeah. And
it's just a little sword fight. It's like, no, we're breaking.
True, but I argue that there is more about an emotional fight, though. To be fair,
but still.
Thank
you, integrity. But like,
integrity.
I want to see buildings, not just buildings. I want to see mountains getting destroyed, planets being cut in half with laser vision, ramming into stars and destroying galaxies.
You may see that in Eternals.
Oh no, yeah, sure. Okay, but that's what I want. That's what I want to see, and that's something. So that's something I was just gonna say. That's something I was really disappointed in Zack Snyder's Justice League, that it literally just ended up with punchy. And it's like, we're talking about an interdimensional being from another universe, Steppenwolf. Like, literally, Superman should have Superman being amped up even more than he was in BVS, should have taken Steppenwolf and rammed him into like Mars and destroyed Mars or something. Come on. It's just a little punch here, little, not even destroy the nuclear silo when he could easily destroy it, like he did in Man of Steel when he slams Zod against it. Come on, Zach. And I love you. That was a little underwhelming.
Oh, and Phil,
I'm sorry, had to do it.
Phil, I believe you are one of the people who disliked the Suicide Squad, if I'm not mistaken. If you want to come on and talk, I'd be more than happy to have you on, and maybe you could give us your side and healthily talk about it. It always brings a good aspect to it. I think I'm right. I'm pretty sure he didn't like it.
I believe he said it was. He hasn't- yeah.
he-
Okay,
in
it's
the
not his
comics.
favorite in the DCU, but he doesn't outright hate it. Okay, and,
I mean,
and
I
I'm
don't-
glad that there are people out there that can look at it and say, here's what's good, here's what's bad, yada yada. Like that's always good. It really is. It's good to have perspectives and hear other perspectives. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy that there are people that don't just like hate something to hate it because it's not Snyder. And I really want the Snyder. I mean, I want to see the air cut. I want to see the continuation of Zack Snyder's Justice League universe, right? I
would
really
like to see
do.
that, but
However, I really want to see what other filmmakers can bring to the table as
There's
well.
room for everything.
Really,
point,
especially in the multiverse. I
But
can't trust that.
I don't think that's. I love the multiverse, but that's not an excuse to not stick with the prime universe, prime timeline.
Oh, of course not.
It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse because when everything is multiverse, it's like when everything is Elseworld, then nothing matters. You know what I mean?
I agreed.
Also,
And
like with the whole people saying, "Oh, all the DCEU movies never connect to the like overall DCEU." They all do. They all have like little hint. Like Shazam solely needs like Lois Lane and Clark Kent, the Daily Bugle, the whole events of ZSJL to like thrive. Because if without a Justice League movie, Shazam wouldn't make sense with certain things that happen in that
Well,
movie.
I don't think that's the case. But okay, go ahead.
wait,
Um,
Shazam needs Lois Lane.
Well,
no, I'm saying like like because Lois Lane is inspiration for Freddie Freeman, and with his inspiration of Lois Lane and Clark Kent inspires, and with the whole Batman and Superman inspiration inspires Freddie to inspire Billy.
Well, Freddy is only with the Justice League, and and like we don't know how long Shazam takes after whatever Justice League they go for, but we do know that the Justice League is well known and they have a bunch of merch and stuff like that because they was like those the toy shelves were filled with Cyborg and Batman and stuff like that. And it's like
it was
who's
Batman
gonna know
and Superman mostly.
Yeah,
but,
and who's gonna know Cyborg? The Cyborg was there. You know what I mean?
right.
But they
right.
have licensed merch in the movie canonically.
But
Right.
but you know what?
But yeah.
But you know what was good about Shazam is it didn't try 1,000. Like it didn't try to connect to the larger universe with its story. However, it put little things in there that connected to the larger universe that made you know that okay, so
Yeah,
this
like
does
Freddy
take
collecting,
place.
like Freddy collecting like the batarangs, like the bullets or something. And like that
or
kind of stuff,
or
and
news clippings and
toys.
stuff like that.
Right. It didn't try so hard to connect. But it was the Marvel like aspect, right? And Jack Pierre, what's up with you lately, man? Hi and bye. Just comes in to say hi and bye. Always. Just never once.
And when I always mention because I'm always
Smash
mentioning
the like button. That please, you Jack. I love you, man. I just wish we could see more of you.
I'm always mentioning interconnectivity and kind of like this MCU-esque idea, but it doesn't need to be blatant. Kind of like, oh my god, Steppenwolf is here again, and and that's not even what happens in the MCU. I think people have a false kind of like preconceived notion about that, but it's literally just you are in a world and things that happen in the world affect other places. It's not just isolated to one city or one thing. So like what I would like more to be even more tied into it, not just like these characters exist in the world, but like things that happen in the other movies affect what happened now. So like
right, and also like the whole Iron Man, the beginning of Iron Man events, like with him testing the bombs, also affect some of the events in the Age of Ultron with Wanda and Quicksilver.
Yeah, and like with me, like I would have liked if Mary from Shazam, when she was applying for colleges, she would have been like, oh yeah, like I would have applied for like Metropolis University, but it was kind of destroyed, and like after the renovation, it's not that good. I hear that the reviews are down, or something stupid like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
what is
that'd
she
be
talking
cool.
about? Oh, she's talking about Man of Steel, or or they talk about freaking Gotham City. Oh, I was gonna go to GCU, but after that football player died and stuff like that, and, that would have been a fun thing to say. It's in the universe. It's not like
Maybe she says it in this movie.
it's not
In
forcing
Shazam
it.
too.
Man, well, in Shazam 2, I don't think so, but yeah, like that kind of interconnectivity. You are in the world, and events that happen in other movies affect you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like how Shazam, the events in Shazam affect the events of Black Adam. Without the events of Shazam, Black Adam would not be released. Like with Wizard Shazam.
Yes,
If he
Mary
didn't
the hot
die.
one.
So in the Black Adam movie, I would love to see the Wizard, like if they have some flashbacks, I would love to see the Wizard Shazam actually recruit Black Adam, and then Black Adam actually kill all of the council except for Shazam.
Wow.
Until
Yeah.
and Shazam then like banishes him to be put into like a dormant state until the modern times.
Do you think that so is that confirmed that the Wizard Shazam will be in Black Adam?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
I
is he
know
confirmed
he's in
for
Shazam.
Shazam 2?
He's in Shazam,
He's in Shazam 2.
But he's dead.
I don't know about Black Adam.
He's
How can he be in Shazam 2 if he's
well,
dead?
there were set photos that showed him there.
Yeah.
Montage.
And also because
It
the
could be a
three sisters
flashback.
three sisters revive him.
They need to revive him in order to.
They need to to get his powers back because he's the only one that can take the powers back.
Right.
So they need him because he's the vessel. So without him, they can't get their powers back. But because Wizard Shazam dying, all of his all of his matches that he's done, other than giving up to a champion, is all of that magic is gone. So one of those magic things is keeping Teth Adam in that stasis, and so without that stasis, he is now kablooey and out in modern conduct now.
Yeah, totally. I hope we see him in Black Adam. That'd be really cool. And to see
you
that.
guys have
him
high
actually
hopes
killing
for Black Adam?
I have some pretty high hopes.
I hope
for Black
it's
Adam.
good.
It's
I hope it's
setting
good.
up a whole lot.
Hold on. Let RJ. He hasn't spoken in a while.
No, I was just listening in. No, I was gonna say I'm hopeful that it's good. I mean, I want to see a trailer first. I like how they're bringing in the Justice Society. I mean, Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan. Come on,
Austin.
Hey, Austin.
Yeah, what's up? Heard you guys were talking about the Suicide Squad. I thought, I haven't given enough of my opinion on this yet.
Yeah, we haven't heard you talk about the movie whatsoever, dude.
I know. I've been so quiet on it.
No, but I mean, so you just got here. We did just watch it for me. It was the second time watching it.
Right.
For some others, it was third time, fourth time, 19th time, whatever. But are you overall happy with the way it turned out? And are you hopeful for the DC future?
I mean, I thought really if this is an indication of how the DCEU is going to be going, not necessarily like the the raunchy stuff or the funny or necessarily that, but
it wasn't as vulgar as I thought.
Right.
Not really. I thought it was some nasty stuff.
Right. Look, I mean, not necessarily in that, but in that I loved the use of these lesser known characters. I love that James Gunn is able to do that, and look how many people now are interested in a Bloodsport series, are interested in a Ratcatcher 2 series. They're interested in all these characters.
Yeah, Polka Dot Man.
And a Polka Dot. People want a Polka Dot Man show. Like,
pretty cool. Yeah.
Dude, who would have guessed? Like, so that's what I think is so
speaking
cool.
of Polka Dot Man, I wonder who his siblings are that survived.
Oh yeah.
I love that he took such like an unknown villain and just added that because it kind of gives credence to all those creators that make these one note villains like literally like the detachable kid, arm fall off boy,
Yeah.
But did
you like that they changed his name?
Yeah, I liked it better because
sorry to cut you off, by the way, buddy. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, I like the name changed because
What was his name before?
Arm
Arm
fall
Fall
off boy.
because
Arm
he
Fall
like
Off
because
Boy.
with
And-
Arm Fall Off
and-
Boy, he like with Arm Fall Off Boy in the comics, he doesn't telekinetic like control his arms.
Yeah,
He
literally
just pulls off his
takes
yeah.
one arm, rips it off, and hits you
and
over
then
the head with it.
yeah, like as like it's a bone or something like that.
Yeah, like a club.
Um,
He just clubs you with it.
Yeah,
But like I like TDK, and like thank God he's in critical condition. I love Nathan Fillion, and I think it would have been such a waste. And that's what I'm saying. In the Suicide Squad, if they literally just took their dead bodies or supposedly dead bodies, they could hand wave it, they could make it work, and had Starro control them, we could have for the second time in all of film history, for the second time, we could have a super powered team versus another super powered team. Every other time, in any film, MCU, DCEU, or any other movie apart from that, it's literally just 1v1 or our team versus Big Baddie or team versus Army. But I want just team versus team, you know?
Well, the whole thing with like my whole gripe with that, the whole is because like again, these are we know that that whenever like he's like what El Presidente said that like that the Hero family would take in their enemies alive in there and they'll never come out,
Right.
Yeah, so they would be trapped in there for one star.
He emphasized them alive. He was like alive, his alive enemies. So these are dead. The only one that was alive that was coughing up blood was TDK.
But
TDK is like his arms are butchered.
Well, they could I wouldn't keep it past them. They could saw off someone's arms and attach it to his, and then like you could say, Starro kind of amplifies your metahuman abilities, and then he would, be able to telekinetically use these arms, reconnect the nerves, blah blah blah. Basically, bottom line is that there was a way that the story could have worked, and done that, and made the final act that much more better, and have that much more stakes, and made it
I agree with
interesting.
You.
I
agree with you, but you know what? Too, I also and it's something that I go back and forth with as far as like one of my real complaints about the movies, because I admit I do like the more serious tone, right? That the first one had, but obviously this one's just all the way around a lot better. But I mean, I go back and forth because
who's that?
No
picture.
Ladies and gentlemen, my boy, we haven't seen him here in a minute on the corner. Paul from Into the West Comics is down there.
Oh, how could you tell? I can't tell.
I know he's doing audio only because he's actually on his way to see the Suicide Squad again right now.
Oh,
so,
now I see.
Paul, can you hear me, dude? Oh, I think you're muted.
I sound, am I right?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh.
No,
hello?
You're not muted. Now
you're good. You're good.
How do I sound? Am I all right? Though? Am I like cracking up, or am I all right?
No,
okay, cool. What's up, guys? I'm sorry. I've been dying to talk to you guys about this, and also just sent me a link. I was like, shit, I'm only in a movie theater, but I'd still like to hop in for a little bit.
Right, dude. So yeah, you've seen it already, right?
Yeah, I've seen it twice. Once in the theaters, once on HBO Max. On HBO Max, I'm going to see it again right now.
Oh, dang! So this is your third time seeing it. Okay. So what did you think, dude? What were your overall thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I think it's what like a comic book movie is all about. It's fun. It's action packed. It's funny, and it hits you where you live every once in a while in like ways that you wouldn't expect. And like my biggest takeaway from it, my favorite thing about it was there was so many times. Most of it was stuff with Harley, but other stuff as well. The movie never failed to zig when you thought it was going to zag. It took a different direction every time. I was like, oh, okay, this is about to happen. It's going to go like this. And then it didn't. And I was like, this is going to happen. It's going to go like this. And then it didn't. And I was on the edge of my seat, surprised every single time something happened. And that was one of the things I liked the most about it, because I wasn't able to be like, oh, I can see where this is going.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, I think you liked the movie. Was there anything that you didn't like about the movie? Any gripes you had with it?
The only thing is, and I can't even pinpoint for you exact moments or anything like that, but there's a couple of times more towards the end, and I don't even know. Like it dragged a little bit in a couple of moments, like when King Shark is talking to like an aquarium or whatever. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler. I don't know if we're going spoilers. Are we going spoilers?
Yeah. We can
we just watched the movie.
Yeah.
Full spoilers.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So, sorry, I wasn't sure. So when he's up there, like looking at the aquarium and the little fish and stuff, that part is cute and it's a fun little self-contained thing. But I also feel like it dragged a little bit. It was one of those things where maybe King Shark could have just crashed through the ceiling and had a bunch of things on from the aquarium. I don't know, and I don't even think like it didn't really hurt the film that much. It was just a couple of moments like that where I was like, okay, it's dragging a little bit. But other than that, no, I don't really have any complaints about it. I think the opening.
Oh, we lost you.
Hello?
There we go. Are you back? Say something.
Hello?
Giving
Can you hear me?
What is he on the
I got-
road? Is he on the road or something?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually going to see the Suicide Squad right now.
Yeah.
Like for the
Oh,
third time.
jeez.
For his third time.
Oh,
So
you
he
should've
liked the
just-
movie.
You should have just watched it with us. It was
Yeah,
free.
he's going to a theater. He's going. I think he's seen it. He's seen it with the Into the West boys actually right now.
All
He's seen it with
right.
them.
Yeah, but I mean, where were you guys? I'm sorry, I didn't like. I kind of can't.
So
hear.
Paul was just talking about how like one of the few things that he didn't like about it, well, like the aquarium scene was cute
Shri!
and all. Sure, there we go. The aquarium scene was cute and all. Like it just kind of dragged. It didn't, and I admit too that
How
was
did it
cool.
drag?
I,
How?
Well, it was
How did
just
it
like
drag?
would it be any better if you literally just saw a hole coming through the wall, not knowing, and just a bunch of water flowing through, and then fish and king shark?
I don't understand where people are. I mean, I get it. I mean, Paul is very smart, and he really he's very smart. No, he really is. He's very smart. I just like some complaints. I really just don't understand. I don't like not that scene. Maybe it wasn't needed, but I thought it was cute and funny and. Like,
Right.
it was just whatever. I don't think it dragged. I don't think it was
Did they ever
needed
explain
either.
what those fish were, by the way? I think the movie
No,
did.
they're
No,
definitely
no.
alien of
They
some
have-
sort.
I think they're like a Starro like experiment of sorts.
that was
That
another
makes
thing. I
sense,
kind of
yeah.
wish I wanted to see King Shark like swim. That's like the one thing I kind of
Yeah, it's like
kind of wanted.
on home
Like,
his home
I was
turf.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping like he'd go like in the tank. I'm like, all right, hop in, dude. Like, let's see you have some fun. Like,
Right.
and even like when the flood did happen and stuff, he was just kind of like,
I'll be honest,
Not
when they were playing that
swimming.
sad music, I thought we were gonna get like a sad backstory. Like this was King Shark's life before humanity found him or something. He had like a wife and kids or something funny.
oh my god, could you imagine? Me have children.
me wife left and took the kids.
So
Me went to go get milk.
Shri brings
God.
up a point. I mean, what did you guys think of Flag being killed off?
I thought it raised the stakes for the movie going forward and was really emotional. Like I did a watch party myself on a Discord, and like people are like really upset by it because like, damn, it's like you didn't want to see him go out, and again, it made you hate Peacemaker, which is what the goal of that was. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean,
It made me feel like Peacemaker was more terrifying as a character in that scene. It was like he will like literally like he's not just saying that he's like going to do what he needs to do, but like for peace. But he actually did it.
Right. Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
no character is immortal, and Rick Flag, he was a nice character, and he's a good character. I mean, he's not like a series staple hero like a Superman or a Batman. So it's not like you're killing off like a symbol.
Right.
So like if he served the story, like, and
I think. Right, I agree. Right, I think the death served the story. I thought it was great, and I thought it was incredibly emotional. I
yeah.
love that Gunn adds. Oh, you're good, Paul. You're good. But I love that the movie has stakes, you know, and that's something that Gunn was talking about, like superhero movies, they get boring because they don't have stakes. You know, either the character is going to come back in some form, or you know, and I will say though, if they're going to do
I don't
another
like the organ
Suicide
shot.
Squad, if they're going to do that, oh yeah, I know you're a little squeamish, right? But dude, Mortal Kombat must have been rough for you.
No, no. It's literally just the organ shot. Like literally heads chopped off, cut in half.
Oh,
like
Yeah.
freaking. No, I'm cool. No,
that whole like head, the head sliding off.
Yeah, no, I'm cool. I'm like,
you know what?
Let's
When
get it.
Blackguard,
But it's just the organ. It's just like
right.
It's the
Blackguard
living and breathing.
had his face like removed from that
Set the
gunshot.
tone for the movie.
Yeah,
I
Blast
actually,
rifle.
that was one of those moments that I
sick.
went, oh, like, you know, like, oh,
Like,
Oh no,
yeah,
I didn't flinch. I hate Pete.
that was, whoa, didn't expect
Yeah,
it.
that
But
whole
Mask-
getting
I just
stabbed
wanna
in the
throw,
heart is like Mortal Kombat.
I just want to introduce Mask of Shy. How are we doing, brother?
right.
What's up, man? How you doing? Right now,
What's up, dude?
drawing some pieces right now, so it's not very important.
Oh,
nice.
but just stuff from day to day.
Oh my god.
How you doing, guys?
Whoa.
I've seen you're talking about Suicide Squad and especially about Rick Flagg's death, and I think that was a freaking sick scene. Damn it!
Yeah.
It was.
No, that was
it
awesome. Seriously.
But
It was like-
taking out a character of that importance to the team, especially through the
he's the
comic books,
leader. He's the leader.
Yeah.
He was always recognized as the leader of the Task Force X in
Yes.
comics.
So
Always.
that definitely was I think it went to show that nobody's safe, right?
Yeah.
When James
But they
Gunn's involved.
they made that point with Team One
Yeah,
5 minutes
but
into the movie.
I think
But there's
this,
something
the
also
Flags
important.
death scene, that whole fight scene, was meant to show Peacemaker's true intentions. You know,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
and it was to show two things. It was to show that there's no one's safe. Even the hero isn't safe, and then
Yes.
and Peacemaker's true intentions.
Yeah.
And
No,
then,
that's
and
true.
then-
Also, but that's also there's something important that some people are missing. And in comics, there's a mission also in comics where they also visit Jotunheim. You know that in
Yes.
the
yes.
90s book, and in that one, in that same building, Rick Flag dies when he fights against another villain. There's a countdown for an explosion, and Rick Flag fights to the death against this guy until the whole building explodes.
I remember
Huh.
that
Yep, they
actually. Yeah.
Wow.
He does
Spoilers
that.
of the comic.
Interesting.
Sorry.
I mean, but no, look, you're right, and I love it. See, I love
That's
that you-
interesting, but that means Gunn, at least in a way, was adapting that material.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I said about the movie right after I saw it. Is I honestly felt like, because I had been reading I hadn't read that Suicide Squad comic. I wish I had, but I've been reading some of.
Me
some of
neither.
them.
But
I've
I
been
used
reading some of
I
them. Yeah, and I walked out of that movie and I thought this might be one of the most, if not the most, comic book accurate movie I've seen as far as the way that he adapted things. The only two things that I thought were the raunchy jokes and all the blood. Those were the things that weren't in the comics for me. But I will say too, at the same time, if they're gonna do a third Suicide Squad, I do wish they kind of would have kept Rick's death till that one, because he's kind of like the known main leader of the team, and he's also like the one good guy, like the one, whether Waller's manipulating him or not, he has good intentions. And
Well,
he
what
wants
if-
to,
I was thinking, and we had brought it up earlier.
Mhm.
What if, because Amanda
comes back
Waller
as
makes it
Yep.
very apparent that she wanted Bloodsport to be a leader, right? What
Mhm.
if in the next one we could get, maybe they got rid of Joel Kinnaman, and then they could bring back Will Smith and have
Right.
like a Will Smith or a Deadshot and Bloodsport leading the team going forward, because both of them at the end of their arcs in both Suicide Squads, they end up turning light. They kind of change the way that they conduct themselves, right?
Mhm.
So maybe, I don't know, this is just optimistic talking, but I think that could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
maybe them going after Peacemaker for what
Well,
he
I
did.
love how it plays into his arc too, because like Peacemaker's like the all-around American, right? He views Rick Flag as a hero. So to have the hero when he stabs him in the heart, basically spit in his face and call him a joke, it's like that really is going to hit him emotionally. I'm interested to see how that's going to play out in the series.
I think
Because
in
I
comics,
think it's going to be a prequel and a sequel. I think it's going to be both.
I think I read that in comics that Peacemaker believes that he hears the souls of his victims in his helmet. That's why he uses it to motivate him to fight. So I don't know if Gunn read that part about the comics, but that would be interesting. Imagine if actually
That would actually make a lot of sense as to why there was that shot of them fighting
in the helmet.
off the helmet, which is one of my favorite shots of that movie.
I said it when it happened. I was like, this is brilliant. Like,
Yeah,
how
but
they did this.
but now
So
with
good.
that element from comics, because it's there in the comics that actually Peacemaker thinks that he hears the souls in his helmet. So maybe that could.
I wish
Man, that
I
would be
wish that
wild
they
if that was a
addressed that.
setup. If that was a setup for how he's haunted in
Maybe.
Peacemaker, I will. Oh,
I agree with Paul
because
here. in
there's something.
saying-
yes.
Even there's a little detail of a character that also James Gunn put in the film. Her name is Florence. He's the little cousin of Amanda Waller. You know who's the girl that?
Oh, yes,
that
that's the
bats her
girl
in the
that knocks
head?
him out.
Kaden.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
yes.
Kaden,
She
what was her
actually.
name?
Well, I
Flo
remember-
Crawley.
Crawley, yes,
Yes.
Florence Crawley. She's actually Amanda Waller's cousin, younger cousin.
Right.
And in the comics, she's a very minor character. He barely does much. He kind of has a crush on Bronze Tiger,
Bronze Tiger, I would love to see come
and
into
he's
this.
actually a very iconic part of the team, of the classic team.
And the
Yeah.
Arrowverse brought him in. We had talked about this earlier.
Dragon.
The Arrowverse, he was a part of their Task Force X. And
Michael J. White.
Yeah, and I thought he did wonderful as the character.
Yeah.
Now, what I think about it is about I want to say throw out my theory is that if they ever do a third part for the Suicide Squad, I think it will build up to that either two things: a revenge against Amanda, or maybe this is just now my headcanon, what I would like to see, the fall of Argus, maybe, or well.
Ooh.
Maybe finally they're going against Amanda, because we've seen little hints about that in maybe other films, like we see, for example, in Assault on Arkham from the Suicide Squad. At the end, we see how Floyd wants to kill Amanda at the end of the film. There are hints that the Suicide Squad hate Amanda. So maybe in the third one, we could finally see them going all the way around and finally get into Amanda.
Yeah.
That would be what I would do. But
would
I don't
love
know
to
of you
see-
with you guys. That
What
would be my
I
about,
would
take.
love to see
Suicide-
Amanda and Cadmus and all that type of stuff. you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah.
My take would be that if you do a third one, exactly, go all the way, because I think they set it up. They set it up very well. That this is killing Flag has to be important. So in my opinion, if you kill Flag, it's for the third one to be like, this is the
Right.
reckoning day.
Right.
Like,
or for
because
somebody
I
to be like Ty said, and I didn't even really think about that. You know, that whole thing of like, I'm Waller, I'm gonna make you a leader and all that. It's like she very much, sets him up. And look, if we know Amanda Waller, even though he's got some blackmail on her, if she needs him, she'll figure out a way to get him to work for her again.
Yes.
Whether it's threatening his daughter or whatever. Like, it's, she's a pretty ruthless character. But I did want to ask you guys and talk about something here, because I like this idea that, like, I think obviously what Gunn has done with this, he started something, and now, I want a sequel. I want to see him, kind of explore these characters more. But at the same time, I think if any DC property to do it with, the Suicide Squad would be a great property to kind of give to multiple directors, and let that be like an anthology type thing. Or even like Paul brought up, they do like in between, have a different director do something and bring Kim in back with a different team, in an event before or something, things like that. I think because I do agree, right?
I think for that you would make better a series in that case. You better just do a series, each episode
Possibly,
maybe 1 hour,
right?
expand on different missions, maybe.
That would be really cool.
Don't take the Venom big announcement tomorrow, bringing back the mask. Could you clarify that?
What does that mean,
What?
Philly Flipper? I'm
Yeah,
very
could
confused.
you just no? Honestly, I could you please? Because I'm interested in that. So if you could clarify, that'd be wonderful. Adam says, "What about Suicide Squad kills the Justice League?"
Yes.
That
I
kind
mean,
of stuff.
I mean, we're getting that with the game.
Gunn and Snyder collaborate on that.
Yeah, there was a
That
comic
would
book
be
like that
sick.
too, where there's like a crossover between the two teams where they fought each other. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would, and that's what, I would love to. And again, I think, I know there are some people who are their complaint is the campiness and the raunchy and the humor and all that stuff, right?
It wasn't.
But I think no, it wasn't. But I think that that would be a great film for Gunn to challenge himself in that, that would be a film to lessen the humor, I think he does continually. He's challenging himself in that, like, Suicide Squad is a bigger ensemble. It's got like some bigger stakes, and that more characters die and stuff than like in the Marvel stuff. And he had a little bit more control. So I would hope that he continues to challenge himself, because that's when I think directors do their best work.
Yes.
Also, what's up, Phil?
I was just gonna say,
introduce Phil.
I was gonna say, welcome to the Pop Culture Corner, Mr. Philip Barker. Can you talk to us about your thoughts on the Suicide Squad? I would like to hear what you have to say.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's my least favorite in the DC Extended Universe as far as all the films stand right now. Wasn't really too big on the humor. That definitely killed it for me. Creative decisions regarding Flag and Amanda Waller, even Harley to some extent, just didn't really sit well with me. Other than that, like, Starro was fantastic. I love Bloodsport, Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher. I like King Shark visually, and like his personality grew on me, but at first I wasn't too wild about it. But overall, I don't think it's a terribly made movie. I definitely don't think it's James Gunn's best flick. I don't think it's the greatest comic book film ever made, but it's fine. I think Guardians 1 is still his best film for sure.
Okay, yeah.
I think honestly for me those two are pretty tight, because I love Guardians 1.
Look, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. I always like hearing why people like things, because maybe I'll pick up on something that I might not have picked up on, and even still, I still have issues with it at the end of the day. It is what it is.
I totally understand that. I'm in the minority because I'm one of the weird people who actually likes Guardians 2 more than the first one. I love them both equally. I actually like the second one more than the first one because I think it has a little bit more thematic richness and like the villain better.
I like Guardians. I really like Guardians too. I don't know. Well, maybe
I like Guardians too.
That's the cosmic head in me, man. I'm like, when it comes to cosmic and it's like this guy's a planet, I'm like, scale, like it really knocks my socks off. I'm just like,
I think Gunn set a bar with the first one, man. I mean, he came in and he, like, you've never seen anything like that from the Marvel, universe movies.
He was also kind of on a chain too.
I'm one of the few that actually liked Guardians of the Galaxy 2 a little bit more than the first one.
Me too.
For some, because it just expanded everything that the first one set it up even in a bigger way. Because even the drama with his mother, like, it became even more tragic that it was the father and all that. I don't know. I kind of agree with Nico. With Carlos here, because he's like, yes.
And also learning about like the Celestials and like how Ego was just an empty consciousness. Floating at the beginning of time, like in just floating in space until he had to construct himself, and then he was like, discovering himself, and then he was like, you know what, I'm just going to plant my seed everywhere, and make everything me because he found himself to be the most interesting thing there is, and that's his glorious purpose. You know,
I mean, his name
so-
is Ego.
It's
Yeah,
glorious.
right. And he got a big ego too.
Yes.
So like,
But then, then wanted to kill everyone else because of that.
Hey, so I was just eating it all up, and I'm like, yo, that like in some variant timeline, Peter went through it, then the whole place was consumed by ego. The whole universe was consumed by ego, and I think that would be the 2014 timeline where Thanos is not there, as well as Gamora. You know, Peter's kind of like latch on to reality. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you think that after Guardians 3, James will be done with Marvel and focus more on DC projects?
I think he's going to stick to TV.
I think that's probably not going to be the case.
I'm sorry, Phil, what?
Television. I think he's going to stick predominantly in television, especially with the way he's talking about how much fun Peacemaker's been. I don't know that he'll come back and do more DC for sure. I mean, they're talking about it, but then again, this is WB and they don't ever stick to a plan.
They flip-flop on stuff a lot.
So
Yeah.
Again, like I can't take stock into what a puppet man says in the form of Walter Hamada. Like you can say that James Gunn's coming back, but the minute like anyone above you tells you that's not the case, you're going to turn and say that's not the case.
That's true.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I do.
That's true.
Should he come back and do more DC? I would hope that it would be in the more obscure corner, not in the more prominent corner. That's just my personal.
I would say the same thing. I don't think he's not the next face of the DCEU.
He was going to be originally. Actually, there were some reports that Hamada actually wanted him as. I think I mentioned that. Whatever I'm talking about is not coming from me. It's coming from Mikey Southern, who speaks in the from other podcasts. But I will try to just mention what I heard, and what I think is like he was in talks to be like the director of new films, but however with these new numbers, with horrible numbers about Suicide Squad, he probably won't be around about any DC film, but he will stay with the Peacemaker for now.
Can I just say that the problem with that, just, you know, they already tried that once with Zack Snyder. It didn't work for them. So I really don't see them trying to be like, oh, let's get James Gunn. It's like, no, I don't see them doing that.
No, but they wanted that originally. I'm just saying they probably wanted that, but it didn't work.
They keep on wanting a director to be the center to orchestrate a whole universe run, and it just doesn't work that way. And I would say the same thing with I don't know. I'm pretty sure you heard Austin.
You could say that Kevin Feige is kind of a director, however, in a bigger scale. He's a producer who.
Yeah, but Kevin Feige is also in like the.
No, he's the final edit.
He's final edit. He has his hands in a lot of things, and he's like also with the money and stuff like that, and like he's the executive producer.
True.
So like
actually,
I don't know.
He's Marvel. It's his title is legitimately Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios. He is Marvel Studios.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that like do I like this kind of tyrannical what he says goes and stuff like that. No, I'd probably like more of a committee, but like I know that might sound like movies by committee. We don't like those. And yeah, I like director driven movies, but I have to say there is some sort of goodness that could come out of it if handled correctly. You know what I mean? If we took the Zack Snyder model and continued with Zack Snyder until till he finishes arc uninhibited, I'm sorry to say he wouldn't have made a foundation. It's not a foundation for he would have made a house, and it's a mansion. It's a beautiful luxurious thing. But I would disagree. I would say it's a whole encompassing thing, because after that and after the each character went through their entire arc where Cyborg becomes a digital god, where Flash becomes OP, where Batman is no longer there, and it's like you have made the house. You made the beginning and the end, and it could be glorious. You know, you could have it up on a shelf, Earth 214, you know, in cinematic history. But I don't think that would have made a good universe.
I think that depends. A
good continuing universe, not a bad universe, you know.
But I think that you're missing a bit of what he was building around. First, what you mentioned was the original plan before he changed it. It was just an outline, not the exact chapters that he had planned in his head. It was just an outline of what could be done with the pieces together. However, even then, when he had planned BBS, he still had enough. He left enough space for Patty Jenkins to come here and do his own movie. So. Later, he also was including, in this case, the original director for the Flash film that then later left because of Geoff Johns. However, Zack Snyder's universe was open to include more directors. There's a reason why he also presented himself alongside Patty, James Wan, and Ben Affleck, who was originally going to direct the Batman film. So all those pieces were actually going to fit well with a Snyder film. With Snyder's Justice League, it didn't need to force everything. Well, it wasn't forcing. More the word would be like controlling in a healthy way with all the directors to fit the continuity in a nice way and not be contradicted themselves. However, the problem was that later, of course, Geoff Johns came around and started screwing with the production of each film, and you know what happened.
Yep.
However, there was enough space for creativity and still a nice expanded universe with what Zack was doing. It wasn't that restrictive as you mentioned.
Okay.
Well, if you want to go anywhere past Justice League Part 3, you would be 20 years in the future.
I'm saying before.
It could have like awesome spin-offs and connecting series. Because that would be like modular.
I think you saw at Comic-Con when Zack Snyder presented himself with Ben Affleck, Patty Jenkins, and James Wan, and Famiguya, the original director of the Flash film. They originally had many stories that actually would fit around that same universe. Mm-hmm. So that's also expanding the universe. Just like now, James Gunn is also doing the Suicide Squad, which I think is also expanding the DCEU in a nice way. Yeah. And I think and by the way, unlike many that say, "Oh, the Suicide Squad is not connected to the Snyder Cut," I'm saying maybe not, because it's still using Harley Quinn, who is connected to the first Suicide Squad, which is exactly connected to BBS. The first Suicide Squad is connected to BBS, and so if you use Rick Flag, Amanda Waller, you are, in my opinion, connecting to that universe. So it's not that disconnected.
Gotcha. Right. So do you guys think that the Flash is going to restructure the DCEU?
Probably. I think it's they're hedging their bets on.
It's
to
possible.
Set things into place.
So
it's possible.
What are your guys' opinions on the time frame that what are you guys' opinions that what needs to happen to have it possible to bring Zack back and get that Justice League 2 and 3 made after whatever happens with the Flash, if they do restructure, yada yada?
I think just include the pieces that they already have built is the first thing. For example, I think Black Adam is going to do something interesting because The Rock, for example, wants to include, I think, a scene with Henry Cavill. He wants to include him somehow, and that's already good because it means he wants to work what it's already been built. And I think that's the key. It's just that, yes, you have everything in place, just take it and use it for your new movies. Take it and keep going. Just that.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. You have to take into consideration that there is a time frame, that there are things already in motion.
Right.
Their production for the Flash is already knee deep. And
Very.
if the Discovery merger were to clear by December 2021, and if David Zaslav were to be like, "Hey, Snyder, Ayer, come back, let's release your cut.
Yeah.
Let's get motion going. Let's bring in our talent back because, people here," and he just does a complete restructure, and then we start seeing something. Even still, if the Flash is this big repurpose, again, we don't know. That's the big question mark, is the fact that we just don't know. The fact that you've got a Michael Keaton Batman and a brand new Supergirl and a character that we're not even sure of because the character is just blanked out in a spoiler, shadow. Like, I honestly don't know. But again, it all kind of comes down to time frame. And as it stands right now, with Toby Emmerchan, Sarnoff, and Walter Hamada in charge, they don't have any interest. Why? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. If I honestly had to guess, it's probably due to some like petty BS with Johns and Emmerich. If I honestly had to, what it really boils down to, it's some petty, nonsensical BS. And truth be told, Jeff Johns' name is on those storyboards, and I imagine if you think back to even like the Bob Kane, Bill Finger days, it's got to be some petty nonsense of like, well, I wrote it, so I have right to use it. I'd imagine Jeff Johns is that petty of an MF to do some shit like that.
I completely agree. I completely agree. So what do you think the time, Phil, what do you think the time frame of, so we've talked about this before. I think we have maybe 2 years to green light Justice League 2 and 3 with Zack.
I think he wouldn't do anything in that universe until he's probably fleshed out Rebel Moon and Army of the Dead 2, maybe.
Yeah, he's
but
probably
I don't know. I honestly
really
couldn't tell you.
Deep into Netflix.
Yeah, because he's got a first look deal with them. So whatever they pass up on, he's free to go do wherever else. But as far as I can see right now, he's definitely, it looks like he's focused. Well, Rebel Moon's his next film, so
yeah, as far as I know, they're not passing up on him.
Yeah, and that's got to come out. You got to figure 23, maybe 2024, somewhere. I don't know.
I feel like it's been too long, man. When the whole cast was together, it was 2016, 2015, and
2016,
26. Yeah, my bad, not 2015.
And then again in 2017.
With the production of Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then the reshoots. I don't know, man. I don't even. I'm pretty sure the cast would like to do it, but
I think who knows? I think because. But Carlos, let's just remember something. Many people were actually not caring about the Snyder Cut for 3 years. Right. It came out and actually it brought many people back. I think it's possible that at least could bring some hype if just you ensemble the team. I would say something a bit maybe that people won't like. I don't think we need to do the exact plan that Zack has. Too much Zack, I'm saying. What the hell? I'm sorry, my English is glitching. I think we don't have to follow Zack's plan. However, we could just improve on it.
I think what you're saying.
He already evolved it because
I think what you're trying to say is the smartest thing WB can do at this point is just build on the universe that he established.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's maybe you don't need to commit to all his glorious purpose that he has for the end, but you still could build on it. And I think Henry Cavill also wants to be Superman, so just bring him back. Yeah. I kind of like having Lois Lane older than Clark, so I'm cool with it. So that's cute.
Yeah, and we've talked about this as well before. Would people be okay if, we have reports of J.K. Simmons coming back for Batgirl being tied to the Ben Affleck Batman. We have Blue Beetle, who's in the storyboards for Zack Snyder's continuation. Even though that's scrapped, it's still a project that is now happening.
I think it still looked like
also the director and the young actor who's now going to play the role were on the red carpet for the Suicide Squad. So if that's any kind of indication, that at least tells me they're thinking about putting it in the same universe.
Right. And so could the Snyderverse live on in a different way than we perceived before? Like,
it's not going to be the narrative. It's just going to be the world.
It's going like the characters. The
characters.
It's his legacy almost. Like, but do you think fans would be okay with that, or do you think they're just never going to be pleased?
I think there's going to be a constant division no matter what. There's been
Yeah.
division for the last 20 years. I mean,
Right.
people have been crying about superhero films since Superman 78. I mean, it's literally inevitable. And I'm not pointing a finger at any one fan base in particular. There are just fan bases that have just popped up and have just gotten increasingly more difficult over time. I mean, for God's sakes, look at how often people make fun of toxic Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
More often than not, they are
Yep.
very just nonsensical, rude, belligerent, and it sucks. It really does suck. There are a lot of Marvel fans who feel like that since their films dominate the box office, that they're just superior no matter what. And it's like, sorry, that ain't it, champ.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of DC fans who are very, very selective about what form of DC is dominant to them. And I can understand that, but at the same time, sometimes maybe emotions can get a little high. And I'm guilty of it myself. I've navigated social media for the last 10 years, and I've been a fan of these movies for the last 20 years. And I still find myself getting in stupid ass arguments with people who honestly I shouldn't be arguing with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think what we need to there is something that a friend was calling #reunite the fandom or restore the Snyder fandom. Something like that. Because
it's probably Enosh.
I think
Right,
it was Enosh. I think I think the solution always is just communicate to each other, because what we need to is just connect to create the bridges again. Maybe it's too idealistic to say that, but I think that's just the key. For example, I think we just need to try to talk up again to those that we don't like much, and just try to reason, and
that's
maybe we
always the
could
most important
get to
thing,
a
is
middle
talking.
point. I think that's what we are avoiding, actually. Avoiding actually those details and just saying, "Oh my God, this guy's an asshole. I won't talk to him. He's a hater."
I mean,
I think that's not helping much.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I hate that about the blocking culture. Like I like or like just like like being like sometimes on Twitter I see like people like, oh, I'm on a blocking spree, or if you don't agree with this, I'm blocking you, or I'm like, or I'm doing this. I'm like, I only kind of justify blocking for like 2 instances: threatening and harassment, and or spam, But if someone's literally like, oh, your movie's trash, or the movie that you like is trash, it's like, it's like, oh, well, you don't agree with me, blocked. It's like, what kind of culture are we creating, with that? You know what I mean? Like, and what kind of mindset are we having when we come into the fandom? And I think that people need like a better way to kind of format your fandom is not to be based in a a single director, because that could be the gateway to it, but it should be in what is more immutable, which is like, or what is more constant, which is the characters or the story or comic book as a whole or film making as a whole. You know what I mean? That's what brought me in. Like when I saw Man of Steel, when I saw BVS and stuff like that, and then I heard about the Snyder Cut, and then the Snyder Cut was being announced May 20th last year. That's when I got in and I started looking. I started with like Nerdy in Many Ways. I love Dawson, and I was there before he had 1,000 subscribers, or about 1,000 subscribers, and I was loving it. And we there was the BVS watch party and stuff like that, and I joined and that was my gateway, but I'm still like I look above that, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, I'm me, I'm always looking at things logically, and like, that doesn't work, and I want to change this, script doctor this, and rewrite that and stuff like that. That's me, that's just me being more on the creative side and like how I would want my movie to be. But I think we should be based more on that. Don't be based in a person, based in the thing or concept.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I could definitely feel that. Do you guys feel that?
No, Carlos is on point, actually.
I definitely think so. Phil, this one's directed kind of towards you. I mean, do you think that because we've been looking at it from like a outside perspective, do you think that the Snyder Cut community is kind of falling apart at this point?
I can't really answer that question because I don't try and pay attention too much to too much of the drama. Look, I don't really try and pay too much attention to drama because I've dealt with enough of it over a couple of different fandoms. Look, I'll tell you guys straight up, I'm not a fan of Batman on film. I am not a fan of
what is Batman on film?
They're a blog site. They've been pretty prominent covering
someone
Batman
was saying
films
that the other night. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're like
since like Batman Begins.
Yeah.
And you know, they I've not been a fan of them. I was a part of a movie group that I was part of for 6 years. I'm no longer a part of it on Facebook. You know, there's just a number of different ways. Like, we got this covered. El Mayembe, hugely not a fan of that guy. There are just a lot of people who just make it really hard to just navigate through shit. And as far as the Snyder Cut fandom is concerned, I mean, look, you could articulate it to two different sides, or you can look at it as people having their opinions and having it out every single day. And if you can want to partake in that, you can choose to partake in that. If you want to not partake in that, that's entirely your decision too. I think it's a little ridiculous that a lot of fandoms in general just kind of take any chance they get to be malicious if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah.
Honestly. And that goes for any fandom whatsoever. Yeah. And I've seen this happen over the last, 10 years, give or take. But
right.
It's just really unfortunate because a lot of nerds just tend to overemphasize their ego or want to overemphasize just wanting to be right in regards to somebody else's opinion. And I find that belittling and I find it arrogant. Like, for example, after 3 Jokers came out, I was not a fan of that book by any stretch of the imagination. No, I think the art's great. I think the story's mediocre at best.
I haven't read it.
Like, truthfully, I don't think Jeff Johns has written a great comic since Aquaman 2011. And I put that into the spirit.
Wait, are you not a fan of Batman Earth 1?
No, not at all.
Okay. That's interesting.
He also ruined Shazam as a character as well.
Look, I'm just saying, like, I'm just not really a fan of the dude's writing, and people just tried to make me out to be, oh, you're a Jeff Johns hater because you like Zack Snyder. It's like, no, that's not the case, champ. I've been reading books for the last 10 years, Cool Your Jets, and they would still run with it. But that's the thing that I find just absolutely infuriating.
Right. And then you even said, like, you like, it's not that you like hated all of us, that you liked some of his work, you just don't think he's good.
I think he's definitely taken a nosedive as far as like quality, and it doesn't exactly help that he was a total shitbag of an EP and president of DC Films. So I'm sorry. Like, if you like his work, cool, awesome. I don't. I'm sorry.
No,
actually, no, I'm not. But
don't be sorry.
But people
don't be sorry.
I'm saying that people in general are stubborn. I will say something that I actually heard from another guy. All Snyder fans are toxic because each time you comment anything against Snyder, they react in a very mad way. And so I responded to this guy. He was what's those guys with the check mark? Okay.
Blue check mark.
Verified. Okay.
Verified.
You call him blue check mark.
To the top dogs. Okay, we see you, Mask Shot.
My response was that's because the ones that throw the first stone actually were the critics, calling everyone that actually liked the Snyder film someone with no taste or someone that doesn't care about film or filmmaking. Actually, they were the ones who actually start diminishing those that actually were fans of those movies. And so we as fans felt so hurt that actually now we became passionate about it. So we come back with all our strength and try to say, no, we are going to show you this argument. Why? Because it's something that is very passionate for it gets emotional. And I think we should, even though it's a very emotional topic, because it's how ironic, because people still say, oh my God, these characters are so little and we don't, why do people take themselves so seriously? Well, because they actually matter a lot for people. They share these important values of course, these symbols. And so at the end, if it's all just about those symbols and trying to figure how to play with them in our lives, I think the most healthy thing is to just be calm and say, okay, I hate how this person expressed about what I love. or maybe and this applies for anything. Maybe people who actually, maybe also Snyder fans who are now trashing on everything that the Suicide Squad has done. For them also, the message is just calm yourself. Be open to talk. Let's talk about it. Why you didn't like it? I would like to know why. And if you didn't like it, that doesn't make it a bad film. It just means that it's not for you. And it doesn't need to say that, oh my God, it means Snyder, anything that's now coming up is against Snyder. No, that doesn't mean either. Heck, even Ray Fisher just spoke in Enosh's show, Poindexter Lounge. Heck.
It's still
about he also Ray Fisher was there actually, and he mentioned how he doesn't want people to ignore the Flash film. He actually wants people to go and see it because it's just another thing. And if you don't want to support the film, don't support it, and that's cool. And we don't need to say, oh my God, because you support it or didn't support it, you're bad or less of a person. No. Because what you are talking about now about supporting or not, it has nothing to do with your values. It has nothing to do if you value the Flash or not. It just has to do with you want to support the film or not. It's just that. And we need to stop. Okay, sorry, I'm going around circles. Okay, my finishing thoughts is just that we need to stop putting layers on people, because that's what I think is stopping us from be back united again. Is the labels, I think.
Yeah, would you guys? I mean, so we all know that Michael Keaton's Batman is returning, right? I don't want him to replace Ben Affleck's Batman, but would you guys be cool with Michael Keaton taking on like a Batman Beyond kind of scenario with Batgirl, or even bringing Terry McGinnis in?
Not Batgirl.
But do you think it'd be too much with bringing another Batman, even if it is Terry McGinnis in?
I feel like after seeing the warehouse scene and seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League, a lot of Batman fans, and even maybe after the Batman, I don't know that a lot of fans are going to be game to see Michael Keaton's Batman back in the suit. But like in a Batman Beyond capacity, maybe. But
as a spin-off, maybe. As a spin-off, could be interesting.
I just don't know why people call
like that. I just don't see. Like, look, that was the main complaint about Affleck, was he's too old. Well, okay, now you guys are fine with it because it's Michael
75-year-old Batman.
No, but let's be fair. It's for the Batman Beyond, and the Batman Beyond Bruce is kind of like in his 70s, 60s. So
right.
That fits better for Michael Keaton.
That's if they did that. As far as we know, we don't know the Flash is doing Batman Beyond.
No, it's not doing it.
Yeah. Right. So I get that. I do agree that it's. I thought that was a little funny that people were complaining about Affleck being too old, and then they were. But at the same time, too, look, I mean, I also think too that I agree. And if it's a Batman Beyond capacity, he doesn't have to like do too much work or fighting. It's mainly the focus of Terry McGinnis. Because I'm sorry, I don't want to see. Like, no, I want to see Batgirl. I want to see that Terry.
You don't
McGinnis
want to see Batgirl take the position that Batman that Terry McGinnis has. That's
because that storyline, dude, is so freaking good. And they can do so much stuff with that. And then bringing in people like Amanda Waller and Cat. Like, I would love to see them do something like that, but keep it separate for sure, and make it available for Ben to continue doing his thing as well.
Yeah.
Like wishful thinking, I think I would hope that the Flash winds up in another multiverse, and by the end of it kind of puts everything mostly back together, and all of these other things are separate. But the fact that we've just acknowledged it maybe means that Keaton comes back and does his own thing. I don't know. But if they go through and make Michael Keaton the Batman of the collective DCEU, I'm just going to be like, that was pointless, because a lot of people bitched and complained that Ben Affleck was too old as Batman, and then you just made Batman older. Good job.
Older and less capable.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's like putting
there's not much,
bringing him just for retirement.
There's not much that Batman could do.
I could see a novelty of a long form Kingdom Come, but that's only got to be 2 or 3 movies at best.
We need a bat, and I really do think Ben's in it's almost looking Ben's in the best shape of his life right now, and he's happy. like this, and I have a feeling like he could be Batman for the next 5 to 7 years, and then then we can move on. But by that time, the arc hopefully would be finished, and then we could bring in like Terry McGinnis and do that kind of storyline. But I
Yeah.
really don't want them to replace with Michael Keaton.
But
And
that's
then
only if.
on
but
Earth
that's- but
2,
that's
we have
only-
our younger Batman with Robert
You brought
Pattinson.
out the if.
But that's only if Michael Keaton replaces him at the end. Because
Oh my
remember, there could still be I think Ben Affleck could still be in talks for his movie, and if that's the case, maybe they don't want to get rid of him. I think what could happen would be like we will have 2 timelines, one for all the executives to do whatever shit they want, and the main timeline we will have. I think that's what is going to happen. We will end with 2
We'll have an
timelines.
executive timeline and a fandom timeline.
Exactly, more like
Sure.
that, something like that. One
I like
timeline would
that,
be to
actually.
experiment with all the stuff weird, like
Interesting.
Black Superman. I think there's also Michael Jordan who wants to do his Pal Salt movie in Earth 2.
It is. That's his name.
And so
I know. I
that
just have
Earth-
you rarely
that
hear
Earth-
him be
you gotta
called
say
that.
the B. You gotta say the B.
Yeah, you gotta say the B.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan, because
Oh crap, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to do his Pal Salt film, well, a series for HBO Max. So that's interesting. I think that he will play again, not in the main scenario, but I think he wants to just again explore the DCEU in a new way. And heck yeah, you can do the route of the executive producers, the executive producers timeline, and you don't touch the Snyder cut timeline. Let's call it fandom because it's more open. The fandom timeline, and that's it.
Yeah, like with my idea.
But again,
like
that's just
how-
an if. It's just the if. Again,
always if, yeah. I mean, my idea of just how it would be perfect, it would be like there would be that thing where it'd be have the prime timeline and then other worlds that could be fully encapsulated and have full arcs go through with them, like what we see with Val-Zod, or like what we're gonna see. Hopefully, these are good projects with Calvin Ellis, or the Batman series with the GCPD series. They're individual worlds. So if you finish the Zack Snyder arc, it's world or Earth 214 or something like that. And then it could be it could be segmented. It could be segmented on HBO Max perfectly. Have each additional collection, catalog, whatever, and it could be listed out. So there is the Prime universe where we grow and develop, and we have this kind of MCU-esque interconnectivity. But and then they get these hungry directors, and they get to do their creative spin on it. If they don't want to contribute to the Prime, then they could do it in the multiverse. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that people could visit that. So like the Flash from the Prime universe, Ezra or whoever, if in my imaginary world,
I think the Batman would
visit
fit in that multiverse. I think, right? The
the
Batman film, for example, that fits, for example, for the multiverse route.
That would be Earth 2, and then they would have their own collection because they have the GCPD show or a limited series that would connect directly into that. You know what I mean? And then the Elseworlds would be 1 degree separated from the multiverse, which is literally just nobody's ever going to visit that. It's literally just one thing, and that's it, which is like the Joker movie. So that's my imaginary perfect universe, but
Yeah.
I hope they
see you
do
later,
that.
Philly Flipper. You fucking cunt.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, he started to piss me off. He's attacking everybody with or specifically me and Phil for some reason. So see you later, man.
I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, it just started getting under my skin. Sorry to derail the conversation.
No, it's cool.
You
It's
can
cool.
keep
But
going.
yeah, no, you get what I mean. So it's just like when Marvel got the MCU, they struck a gold mine. And that's how they made so much money. And not saying that DC should just pump out the exact same thing Marvel is doing, but there is an audience for that kind of storytelling, and I think there is some good that comes with it of having situations from one movie affect the next movie. Like I said earlier in the stream, if Mary from Shazam, when she's applying to colleges, she can't apply to GCU or because of something that happened in BVS, because Doomsday threatened that city, or well, he was on Rikers Island, or like she wanted to go to Metropolis University, but it's under renovation and it's been closed for about 3 years because of the what happened at the end of Man of Steel. Like just little things like that, and people grow and develop and learn from what happened in their movie to take it into the next movie or the ensemble movies.
Oh yes, and it doesn't not even it's not even that complex. It's just little hints.
Just little hints or just that connective tissue to know that if we were to zoom out, if we were to have a literally Google Maps view and zoom in on movie A, if we zoom out and just turn the globe around and zoom into movie to Central City, we see movie B, which is the Flash movie or whatever. And I feel like people yearn for that because we want to see these people be heroes be born, heroes grow, heroes evolve, heroes die. You know what I mean? And I think there is room for that. And I think it could be so beautiful and so great. And if you don't want to contribute to that, if you don't want to be, I don't want to be connected to the system, man, I don't want to be a part of committee. It's like, cool. But you're still like an awesome director and you're still like, super well known. And we want your talent. Okay, you're in the multiverse. How about that? You want that? No, I don't even want to be connected to the multiverse. I don't want anybody to touch my stuff, no matter what. We get it. Okay, Black Label, you're in Elseworld. This is your playground.
Yes,
and nobody will ever mess with that ever again. 3 degrees of separation. Prime, multiverse, Elseworld.
I mean,
win. I would love it so much.
Is there a market for more movies like Joker? Like more movies that just stand alone? Because remember, I mean, and Philip can definitely attest to this. 10, 15 years ago, movies weren't connected to a larger universe. And you were lucky to get a sequel. Do we need movies that necessarily need to connect to a larger universe?
We don't need it, but like I said, it'd be nice to have it because it offers us. Yeah, we don't need it, but I think it offers a nice form of storytelling.
Two routes. That's why we said there could be just a route when everything is interconnected, and if you don't want things connected, okay, here's the other route for movies that are separated. It's just that having things but the detail is that the studio has to know what to do. They have to know, okay, this is for the movies on the timeline A, and this is for the movies where we do whatever shit we want.
Yeah. I'm of
multiverse, Elseworld.
I'm of
Elseworlds.
Right, and I'm of the mindset that look, I think Marvel ruined us. At least for me being young, like I was, 12 years old or not, like honestly, 10 years old when Iron Man came out, so those were the comic book movies I grew up with. I think it ruined a lot of people into this mindset that everything's got to be connected. Everything's got to be.
To be brutally honest with you, I think it's a combination of both Nolan's success with the Dark Knight trilogy and the Avengers coming out nearly around the same time, because both of those are very much products of inclusive, contained universes. The only difference is one ended, one expanded.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
But I don't think that's the reason. I think it's the studio.
But the thing is, both of those films set a precedent for Hollywood, and Hollywood went absolutely bonkers with it once they saw Avengers and Dark Knight make over $1 billion with interconnected comic book films.
And now everything, now everything needs to connect. We have a Godzilla versus Kong. Godzilla universe.
Fast and Furious.
We have a Fast and Furious universe. We have
Jurassic World.
We almost got a Monsters universe.
But
look at how much Star Wars has expanded in wake of the MCU and things like that.
Yeah, but you see something. No one is watching the Star Wars films because they are connected. No one is watching the Fast and Furious films because they are connected. They are different reasons. For Fast and Furious, it's because it's memes.
For Star Wars,
it's because you want a particular good story. And actually, in the
I would actually disagree because Star Wars films are absolutely connected.
Yeah, they want. I know. Look at the response to Last Jedi, right? People were mad because they didn't get Luke Skywalker.
It broke canon.
No, that's true. But what I'm saying is that what people at the end want more, even though they don't say it, is they want a good story. And that's when I will say the reason I think why the ECU wasn't as good as it could have been, and I think that's the reason why it didn't fail, but I think it fell short, and Warner Brothers fucked it up later with Justice League. With the Justice League is because they didn't trust in their product, and so they play against it. And I think this is, we know that BVS was even BVS is not. Even SAC didn't have all freedom during BBS, even though many would report that. Even Chris Terrio in his interview mentions that he had to fight to keep certain ideas on the script because Warner Brothers wasn't caring enough to keep the characters on character. Chris Terrio wanted to keep everything more stable and actually bring a character arc for the particular characters. Actually, the little details about Batman's arc was important.
I agree, but you know what? To go back to something you said, I disagree with it. I don't think audiences necessarily want a good story, and that's not to like this isn't like an insult to like general audiences, and I think general audiences just want to be entertained. I think people like you and me, we want a good story. Like us, we want a good fleshed out story. Like I know a lot of us aren't just into comic book, like we're into films. Like we're into films in general. So I feel like in a different category. I feel like for the most part, general audiences, they just want to shut their brain off and laugh or think an action, movie is cool. It's not necessarily like, I mean, look, I love the John Wick franchise, but by number 3, that movie has no point, no story. But look how much freaking money it made and how many people loved it.
Spectacle.
Yeah, that movie is almost no story, all action.
It's literally 2 hours of killing. Which,
yes,
I'm not complaining. I did enjoy it.
I mean, I love those movies.
Paid money to watch Keanu Reeves kill for 2 hours, 100%.
Yes, absolutely. But I did walk out going, I kind of wish there was a little more.
And I don't know if you guys feel the same way either, but I feel like sometimes as audience members, not talking about us, not like just in general, but like people don't want to be told stories anymore. They want to dictate where the story goes. They want to feel like they're in control of like the direction something's going in. If that makes sense. Where it's like fan theories and other things. It's like they feel like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
no. It's a form of entitlement, because it's like I'm a fan.
And the general audience, though.
Maybe not the general audience, but there are people. Yeah. There are people that are like, I know the comics and I know this and this is this is from this comic line.
The way I want it to be
so if Mephisto is not in it, because Mephisto is directly connected to the kids, Wiccan and Speed, then I'm not gonna like it. I understand that. Like, and I understand the people being angry, like frustrated with those people because it's like let the studio or let the director do their thing and make their story the way they want to make it. I totally understand that. Yeah. But
I
don't know.
Very unhealthy expectations are kind of ruining films.
I think for me, I feel like I'm a nobody. I've never learned how to do film.
Well, you're somebody to me.
Well, thank you. This is just like saying like I don't think I will ever get a chance to direct a superhero movie or a DC movie. Nonetheless, who knows? I will try to look into it.
No offense, but with that mindset,
you're not going to.
Right?
Yeah. But I feel like that kind of entitlement that people might have, where like, I wanted to see this. I can kind of understand it, but it is a bad mindset to have.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I think it's a bad mindset to have when you're. I think when you're setting it.
I think it's a bad mindset to have when you try to push it like gospel.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I agree because
when you constantly have to push the fact that you are right and what you know is correct all the time, 100% of the time, be damned anyone else. Yes. That's kind of aggravating.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
William, what's up, dude?
I think the idea would be like to push at least a narrative flexible enough for people to be involved. Participation at the end. It's just that. And at the end, the movie has to do that in a good way with a good marketing, actually. Good marketing. I was talking with a friend about that. Good marketing actually creates participation with the public. Bad marketing actually creates unhealthy expectations and ends letting everyone down. So I think that's what actually, maybe you could say is a bit of the fault of the studios, maybe. because marketing trailers, when you
Most
sell
of the time, it's the studio's marketing. Yeah.
badly a film, when they don't know how to sell it, they actually fuck everything else.
There are a few exceptions.
You could,
Like,
for example, here a quick one. BBS. BBS was sold as a beat them up film with everything's cool. Hey, I wanna believe that everyone's fighting. It's like, but the movie is not about that. Actually, BBS is quite slow. It's a political thriller. It's very complex. It has nothing to do with the marketing.
Yeah, it's not like a boxing match, fight night kind of thing.
Exactly.
BBS. Oh God!
But no, and you can later blame. Oh, the critics didn't get it. Sure, they didn't get it, but the marketing wasn't helping either. And the studio was going against what the film was.
There was also kind of a smear campaign going against that movie. Thanks a lot, Devin Faraci, clown.
But
that's true.
He's an absolute clown.
Wait. Who's Devin Faraci?
You don't want to know, and if you really do, just Google him. But anyway, like
those days,
there was a large, big disdain
those were the
Batman
old
versus Superman
days.
way back when in 2016 when that movie came out. If you dared say that on Twitter, you were mocked. People mocked you. People thought you were like the lowest of low when it came to film criticism. People were like, "Oh, you just like mindless, dumb action." It's like that's not what the movie's about. Thanks for proving the point, jackass.
That is true. I remember seeing it online. Yeah. I remember seeing it.
How do you guys feel about John Campea?
I don't want
I'm gonna
him.
be honest. I don't know. Somebody. There's 3 names that were mentioned tonight. I don't know.
John who?
Sutton, Campea. I haven't really watched, and the other one that Phil just said.
I still watch John Campea in his show. I mean, I like Robert Meyer Burnett. I enjoy watching to get like a dose of like the news of the day. But I don't treat his word as like gospel or anything. I don't treat anyone's as like, oh, this guy speaks like whatever this guy says. It's like pure facts. He said some really dumb stuff before. I mean, God, remember when he complained about the Clone Wars trailer with Ahsoka?
Yes.
He's complaining about that. John Campea is just an idiot.
He
does not know when to shut up.
Andy's a sellout. He's a sellout.
Andy?
He really is.
No, and he, not the name Andy.
Oh, okay.
A-N-D.
And he is a sellout.
He. Yeah.
I see.
And well, I guess, tomato. I don't
Scott
know.
Mendelson's another idiot that comes to mind too. That dude
my
never knows
God,
how to shut up
I can't
either.
Stand him.
He always just has the most
on...
asinine innate takes when it comes to movies. This guy has the audacity to try and revise the history regarding Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel, every single fucking day. And that dude never shuts up.
Never.
Yes. Okay,
he's the guy who fucking talked about the Justice League trailer before it debuted.
That's
and
then,
he's that asshole.
Yep. It's all coming back.
Cried about Rise of Skywalker. That dude just fucking cries about everything. It's like watching a man-child just whine on the internet. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Go touch some grass.
That is my
that's what I want to respond to half these people. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Go touch some grass.
So Phil, I'm guessing you don't really like reading his box office reports.
I don't read his box office reports. Dude's blocked me. Thank fuck.
I'm blocked. All right, here's another one though. Is Grace? I personally can't stand Grace Randolph.
I actually like Grace. She's okay.
No.
She's like a broken clock.
She's terrible.
I can't stand. She's the one who created this whole Harley rape thing, which.
Or the
she also did some stuff with Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey. The picking
with the president. When the scene with the president, I think she's talking about.
Right in Suicide Squad. Yeah.
I can understand the criticism.
It wasn't
blocked. She's blocked me on everything because I call her out on a lot of stuff, and she just decided, or her team blocked me. I'm sure it's not her.
I don't like how she enunciates things.
I'm not a fan.
I don't. I watch her because sometimes she gives accurate information. Other times she does not.
I can throw shit at the wall and it will stick sometimes too, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Even a broken clock will say the right time sometimes.
So MIM got his start by spewing shit at a wall until it eventually stuck.
Who?
Exactly.
Humberto Gonzalez. Sorry, Humberto Gonzalez.
Okay, yes. I just think there's a
Humberto
lot of
Gonzalez
people.
actually is something I like.
He started like writing bullshit at Latino Review. That's the whole
Yes,
reason he's
yes.
at the Wrap now.
Mhm.
He went from Latino Review, that
Yep,
turned into
exactly.
Heroic Hollywood, and then
Yep.
he wound up at the Wrap. Finally,
Somehow,
someone like
yeah,
felt bad
somehow
for
he
him, I
went
guess. I
good.
don't know.
Yes, he wrote pieces in Spanish. I remember, like
Yeah.
many years ago. But it's so funny that he was the one spilling out. shit
Always
about-
used to be like, "Oh, I've got my ninjas in place." It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
shit always used to just be like, man, be the fuck just stop. You're not doing anything additional to the conversation. You're not doing anything other than just being, oh, look what I heard. And half the time it wound up being bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
I we need more like. So I think people need to come to more places like this. Like all the channels that we do, because all these other guys like they're just spewing nonsense to gain clicks and views and all that kind of stuff. It really, like, a lot of people are going to smaller news
Channels.
sources for things because they know that they're not bought or they're not sellouts and stuff like that. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I brought that up, but
Well, look, I will say the one thing that I said when I first started like my own, before I joined Utah, when I first like started my own thing, I think the one thing I just noticed, like, people just like real conversations. Like you said, it's not like honest, real conversations. Not everybody, like, not a circle jerk. Everybody liking doing the same thing or hating on the same thing. Like, they want conversation. They want not necessarily arguments or debates, but just conversation. And they like when it's real and people respond to that. Our show started growing just off that. I had done nothing, but that was like my whole thing. Let's just have real conversation. And I think people, like you said, they're looking for that, and
Yeah.
so they're going to smaller channels instead of the bigger names and stuff.
So
I think that's good.
yeah. We're probably gonna
people-
wrap it up. It's we're literally just about to touch 5 hours.
I gotta go to bed. Here
So
pretty
um,
I got
listen,
2 hours till what if. Thanks, Ty, for
Yeah, it's killed the time.
I'm actually
What if watch party?
What, Caden, are you here still? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's still here. When is Stargirl on?
It debuted tonight.
So it's already-
it's
Yeah,
already-
it already-
It might be on the CW tomorrow. I don't know.
I think
I'm
it's not tonight.
yeah,
I think it's
I don't
already
have
airing.
interest.
I could be wrong
Yeah.
though.
It might be on in like
Okay.
2 hours on the CW app or 4. Who
There you
knows?
Okay. Listen, I want to go around the horn and let everyone know let the audience know where everyone can find you. Guys, super chats were great tonight. Audience is getting a lot better. I'm super happy with everything, actually. Like
Yeah, great chat tonight.
great chat tonight. Great, wonderful time, great panel, great people, great conversation. That's what this is all about, guys, is getting together and maybe not agreeing, but understanding where each other are coming from, and not, attacking them because of their views, right? We want to promote that Us United thing that we started in the beginning, right? So with going around the horn, we can start with Austin. Where can people find you on Twitter and other things?
Yeah, well, you guys are already here, so I'm
Yeah.
here a lot. definitely keep watching. I'm here every day. You guys, I'm here all week, guys. But also I'm on Twitter at AlienLV1023. Check it out, and yeah, make sure and stick around and check out all our other videos.
All right. And we'll get Carlos here. Carlos, where can people find y'all?
Hey, it's just that one Carlos YT on Twitter and that one Carlos on YouTube.
All right. Next up, we got RJ.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun, great conversation. If you want to follow me on social media, it's just Resonant Justice, Twitter and Instagram, and YouTube. So come check me out.
Okay. Next up, Mask of Shy.
Well, you can check me out on my Instagram. I usually upload drawings about whatever. I do comics. There's one.
Oh, that's
So
pretty cool.
Can you draw me some channel art? Because I just dumped a girl and she had a picture for us that she threw away.
What?
That she took with her, apparently. Yeah.
She dumped it. She dumped it like I dumped her. So maybe I'll talk to you after, okay?
Here's one I made, for example, about the death of Robin in the DCEU.
Oh,
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's dope.
And
man.
it's all on my channel. But I'm also on YouTube. I'm trying to do a new video finally after like 6 months. Crap. And so, but that's it. I'm around, and if you want to talk with me, I'm as Mask of Shy on Twitter.
All right, thank you so much. Philip Barker.
That'd be me. If y'all want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, it's just @unfiltered. You can also listen to my podcast on Google Podcast, Podbean, and Apple Podcasts, The Magic Movie, Superhero Stress, and The Eternal Night.
It's a great podcast, man. I've listened a couple times.
I've been
and
listening, actually, yeah.
Yeah, you
Appreciate
do a great job, and we would love to maybe collaborate.
Wait, do you
on
appear
on
as
a
Philip
podcast.
Baker and Twitter?
Sorry, what?
Yeah,
Do you appear as Philip Baker on Twitter?
It's Unfiltered on Twitter.
The app that he has
alright.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can collaborate sometime on a podcast. We'll have you on and do something. Because I do love what you do on that
Appreciate
podcast.
that. Thank you.
Caden, I know. I mean, Caden's always here as well, but Caden actually is does really well on updating people on Instagram. So you can, Caden, why don't you speak for yourself, not me?
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, shush, Ty.
I don't know. You could, like Austin said, you can find me here, and also Caden Reed on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's that time of the night. I can't believe we went for. Well, the movie was long too, but thank you to everyone in the chat, guys. You guys have been magnificent tonight. We will be back tomorrow with another panel, I suppose. Anyone that was here tonight, we're gonna have a new topic tonight. We're probably gonna move on from the DC stuff and maybe talk about what if tomorrow. Or anything that debuted tonight. So it's gonna be fun. You're all welcome back tomorrow. I would love to have every single one and more. So if anyone wants to be involved with that, we do it every Wednesday, and we always want new people. And if you want to get yourself on a stream and maybe test it out, even if you've never done it before, we're always willing to have you. It's our chance to get to know you and all that stuff. Other than that, all of our descriptions or my descriptions are in the description below. If you want to join our membership, it's low as $2.99. That's our Flossin with Austin tier, and it goes up a couple dollars each time. Our shout out to RJ for just joining. He's our newest member. You guys have been great. Till next time, we do it for you, and we do it for the culture.